All right, guys, thank you for tuning into this week's episode. Remember, if you enjoy our show, share it with your friends and family, have them rate and review. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you find your podcasts. Also, if you watch us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like for us. All of that helps us grow. And if you want to help us financially, go to insensitivemerch.com and get drippy with Drippy. Cop some merch and show some love to your boys out in the world. Other than that, let's get this going.
And here we go.
You want to be like? Sensitivity equals fucking poverty.
Insensitive Culture, the podcast. Check it out, homie.
Guys, welcome to episode 99 of Insensitive Culture. As always, you know me.
What's up, what?
And you know my guy over here. Oh.
And that full blazer, Ramon.
It wasn't working. And on the other end, as always, together we will forever be
Insensitive Culture, the podcast. Make sure you check it out, homie.
Make sure you check it out, homie. I gotta forget. I kind of forget that with the iPad, like I can't have my hand touching anywhere else.
Doesn't recognize
or
the
it
touch,
recognize the touch. Little growing pains when we add new things.
Word.
Yo, episode 99
stuff.
though, yo.
Yeah, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
99.
Next week we hit
Party like it's 99.
Yes,
I
sir.
was thinking that we should have had like a Prince drop ready or something, dude, for 99.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Nah, fuck it though. We
It was like 1999. It's not really 1999.
It's still, the 99 would have been dope. I would have been feeling it.
All right, I got you.
Party like it's 1999.
I mean, I'm not trying to get canceled on YouTube either, you know. Get flagged
A
and
little,
shit.
a little snippet.
can't do
All
it.
the monies
It's
that we
Prince.
make through our YouTube
Right,
monetization.
that'll be gone.
Yeah, it's Prince.
We'll be living in the streets.
It'll guarantee that we make no money off of YouTube monetization, at least for this episode. But episode 99, we're not going to focus on the things that we didn't accomplish this year, okay? But these past 2 years have been it's been crazy. So
Wild.
yeah, we're coming up on 2 years.
Stuff.
It'll be 2 years next month, so it's not officially 2 years, but
Right.
still, it's 2 years of insensitive culture. Almost 2 years, and we're coming up on that 100th episode, which we are planning something pretty fun,
Pretty sweet.
At least pretty fun for y'all.
It's not going to be great for us, but
I don't
we'll
know if
see.
it's going to be great for us, but we'll keep you up to date within this next week to give you
look out
little
for that
hints and
promo.
let you know. Word. Look out for that promo. Also, I believe that we are going to have a guest. One of our network mates is going to come onto the podcast, and we're going to be interviewed in some way or form. So
Those DFAT boys.
yes, sir. All right. So, but this has been it's been an amazing ride with you all. You guys have, if you've been with us from the beginning, you already know the growing pains that we've had. And if you're just joining us, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming through, checking us out. And we have a lot more in store for you because this is just the beginning. The first 100 is just the beginning.
First hundo.
Word.
Imagine 1,000. That's crazy.
It's gonna be.
I know.
I can't wait.
I know. We'll be
Word.
old. We'll be old men by the time that 1,000
1,000 weeks from now.
1,000 weeks from
Well, 900 weeks from now.
Yeah, that's true.
Bro, that's what? That's an
Maybe
insane. I'm not
once
gonna
we
do
start
math
getting
now.
paid, we
it'd be
might
great.
double up on episodes or something.
We'll do two.
Oh,
of
for
them.
This is
sure.
full time.
For sure.
Maybe
Once
we
I
do
can
2
quit my
episodes a
job,
week.
yeah.
Yeah. If we could keep up with the demand for that, like if we had the manpower to do it, I would have already I would have been suggesting it a while ago.
I know Waka was out the
You
door.
know-
What
you
you talking
know
about?
me.
Waka's 1 foot out the door, 1 foot in the studio all day.
Right. So me,
Literally.
I'd have been like, yo, we doing this. But
been
now we just
100%.
it's just if we want to live our lives, we at this moment we can't do 2 episodes.
Right.
True.
But the second that we get to that point though, we're doing 2 episodes a week. And we're gonna put out the entertainment.
Wow.
That's just the minimum.
Once we don't have to get up in the morning for work, like
Hell
real
yeah.
work.
Hell yeah, nah.
I would love to just get up, grab some coffee, roll out to the studio, and be like, "All right, what are we recording
That's
today?"
it.
Like,
That's
oh,
it.
bro.
Yo, we all agree. We agree
Facts.
on a time where we're gonna meet up, every day we're gonna plan out shit. You know, it's gonna be a full on production, and then
We're gonna have mad shows.
Word,
You're gonna be
yeah.
recording.
Well,
You're gonna be like,
this
damn,
is
what
just
show
the
am I
beginning.
recording today?
Right.
Different times, multiple shows a day, different times. We're gonna be Gucci.
Right around the corner, folks. Right around the corner.
Right around the fucking corner. All right, so
Working on some things.
we are all right. So let's start the pod off the way we always do with some questions. Dave, what do you have for us today, bro?
All right, we got a good mix today. We got a good mix.
We got a good mix.
All right, we're gonna start with something that's sort of simple, not too crazy. Would you rather give up appetizers or desserts for life?
I would have to go with the desserts, man.
Big facts. Big facts.
Even though like I'm a sugar, like I'm addicted to sugar. I know that. Like I have a sweet tooth like a mug. But I generally skimp on this. Like I prefer snacks throughout the day. Like if it's sugary, not necessarily a dessert to eat with my meal. But I love myself some Maz sticks, like everything that comes with appetizers, like some wings, boneless, bone in. I'm all about
You
I'm
just
all
get
about the
started.
appetizers.
Yo, you sit down to a restaurant, you grab a drink, you know there's appetizers coming.
Yo, that
Just a different, you know.
even if you don't order off of the appetizer menu, the bread with the butter that's usually out there, whatever.
yeah.
All of that is
that's all
appetizers.
Yeah. Yep. Texas Roadhouse rolls, those butter rolls with the cinnamon butter,
yeah,
bro.
Cinnamon butter. You can't give that
You
up.
know, you got to say the Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Cheddar
right?
Bay fucking
Oh,
biscuits,
shit.
bro.
Oh,
my
shit.
God. I don't even like Red Lobster. Like, you know me, I've never really.
You're not a
You're
seafood
allergic,
guy,
bro.
yeah.
Well, I'm allergic to like to shellfish. But even growing up, I didn't even like fish. Now I like fish. Like I'll fuck with some fish. So if
Word.
like, my mom is the only one that loves Red Lobster, and whenever it's like her birthday or something,
Yo,
it's like, let's go to eat.
moms love
Yo,
Red Lobster.
they're-
Dog. Mine does
they're
too.
creatures
Mine
of-
Yo,
does
that
too.
Mother's Day at Red Lobster is
Yo, that was-
wild.
My mom's birthday was at Red Lobster. Every year she get the fat ass margarita and shit. No,
Yeah.
the strawberry daiquiri was her shit, bro. Like she would
Word,
get one
yeah.
every year. Like I could count on it like
They're
clockwork.
just creatures of habits,
They
bro.
are.
Because back then, Red Lobster was the place to
that
go
was pretty.
for.
Yeah, that's a nice
Boy.
flex, bro.
Yeah, it's like
That's
yo,
like 3 times the price of Applebee's, so
Oh,
you know
yeah.
it's big.
yeah, you're
yeah.
better be.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yo, we're going out to eat. Oh, okay, we're going to Applebee's. No, Red Lobster.
What? You lose your fucking
Oh
yeah.
my God, really?
Yo,
De
somebody
verdad.
hit the lotto
De
then.
verdad.
Yo,
De verdad. Vamos para Red Lobster.
what was that?
Vamos para Red Lobster.
What's that mean?
That's Red Lobster, baby, with a Spanish accent.
Oh, you gotta get the. You gotta
That's
get
something
the.
you might not never know about.
No,
No.
you got me there. I got nothing. I got
Might not
nothing.
never.
Oh, yeah, that's that minority mama Red Lobster.
Red Lobster.
I can hear it now. I can hear it.
Now you got it.
I wasn't picking up for it. I was just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's fine. But
Yeah,
now I can
Spanish-
hear it. That's
Spanish
fine.
folks.
All right, it's just
Spanish-
Red Lobster with a Spanish accent.
That's it. That's it.
I thought it was legit Spanish for like 2 minutes, bro.
Bro,
I'm like, I
there
don't
is-
speak Spanish.
there
Translate
are-
for me, dog.
As a Puerto Rican,
Red Lobster.
Puerto Ricans are the worst with it. But as a Puerto Rican, there are certain words that I don't know the Spanish word for it.
The actual word?
Yeah, like
word.
the actual word. Like ketchup. Ketchup, I have no idea what the Spanish word for ketchup is. It's ketchup.
Oh,
That's
pretty,
it.
it's pretty close.
It's just ketchup. Because
So it's just like if there's not a
ketchup
word for it, it sounds like they just say the English word with like
Yeah.
a
They
Spanish
say,
accent.
yes,
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
100%. That's how it
Dope,
is.
dude. I could just.
That's
What
the
if you just
easy-
spoke
yo.
every word with that accent? Is that like a?
It almost is, bro. I remember one time I had to go like a couple years ago. I had to go to Puerto Rico for work, right? And I was like
It's country
mad nervous because I could speak Spanish, right? But I'm not like A+ in the Spanish thing, right?
Right.
And then I'm gonna have to give this technical presentation to a group of folks,
In
which now
Spanish.
you're at a different level of Spanish where you're talking about like technical words, right? So I'm over here Googling like, how do you say this word? How do you say that word in Spanish and shit? And then like, the more that I start watching this like YouTube dude who's like a comedian from Puerto Rico, and like I'm just listening to like the way that they speak, and he's from Puerto Rico, right? And I always assumed that the way that these Puerto Ricans talk, it was like New York Puerto Ricans or like American Puerto Ricans, where they
Puerto
like
Rico.
mix that. They call it that Spanglish, right? Where they mix that Spanish and English. But then I realized watching this dude that that's how all Puerto Ricans talk. Like it's almost like I was calling it like it's our own like dialogue. It's our own dialect. It's almost like a Spanish patois. In the way that we have made our language a bridge between Spanish and English that other Latinos like sometimes they don't even follow. It's just mad words like you were saying, like, you know, the one word and you know, to the non-Spanish speakers listening, they probably have no idea what's going on right now. But like one of the words that for the longest time I really thought was a real Spanish word was brasier. I thought brasier was a real Spanish word for bra.
Bra. Yeah, bra.
But
It's just
I found
brassiere
out
and like with
it's
the Spanish
brassiere just with the Spanish accent.
Yep. Brasier. Yep,
Yo,
I get
I'm
it.
talking about, I learned this last year, bro.
My man was in his late 30s.
Word.
Word, son.
happens
That
to me all
shit
the
is
time.
wild.
I remember my early years in customer service when I would get a Spanish customer from anywhere else, you know, any other Spanish speaking country, and instantly I would speak to them and go, "Ah, tú eres puertorriqueño, like you're Puerto Rican, huh?" And I'm like, "Yep." And she was like, "Yeah, I could tell." And that was like one of the things. Like, all right,
Word.
well, I'm gonna try to speak a little more proper so that. And I developed this way of speaking where I kind of mimic the person speaking to me. So sometimes
Same.
I will have a little bit of the accent. And if I stutter my words, I will say, like, you know, I just admit, like, yo, okay, you know, I'll just be like, yo, fuck it, I admit it. I don't know what that word is.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll say it in English, and they'll immediately be like, oh, okay. But I always start the conversation letting them know, like, yo, my Spanish is okay, but it's not perfect. And then when I speak it, they'll be like, "Oh, what are you talking about? Like, you set the
It's
precedent.
good enough, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll be like, "Oh, well, you speak like great Spanish." And I was like, "Nah,
Yeah,
but
better than I
but I'm gonna
expected.
hit a wall at some point, and I want you to understand that this is a thing."
Both of you guys, are English your first language or second?
For me,
It's hard to say.
For me, it was my first because when I learned to speak, I was living in Puerto Rico. I was born here, though. I was born in Rochester, but my
weren't speaking till
my
you got to
grandmother
Puerto Rico.
moved to PR. My family moved to PR when I was about 2, like 1 or 2, and then so as I was learning to speak, it was in PR. So I came back speaking Spanish, like nothing but Spanish, and that's why, like early on in my academic career, I was taking ESOL classes, English as a second language. And then it wasn't until middle school when somebody was like, "Yo, you speak perfect fucking English." Like, you don't need to be. I was like, yeah, nobody's ever even questioned it
Just
up
an
until
easy,
this point.
it was just an
but
easy A at that point, bro. You were just crushing it. You're like, yo, I got
Word.
this.
yeah, just like, all right,
Facts.
so whatever. All right, so that derailed that whole conversation. It's awesome.
Word. I just want to preface
we all
that
agree,
Oh, that's
question.
right.
or-
We did ask a question, right?
We did, yeah. I just want to ask, when it comes to that question, if I'm giving up desserts, is it dessert as part of a meal?
I
or
assume
is
that,
it
yes. No, not in
desserts
general. Yeah, no,
in
not
general?
in general. No, it
I
can't
think
be
I-
So I
in
could
general.
still have ice cream
You
like
could
on a
still- when you
random
get
day
home,
or something.
Yeah, when you get home, you could.
Okay.
Yeah, but just not.
Then
I
yeah,
was
fuck
assuming
desserts.
at the restaurant.
I never have
right?
desserts.
I never have dessert.
never
bro.
have
I'm
dessert in a
too
restaurant.
fucking full from my appetizers and my dinner, bro. That like I'm ready to open my belt. I'm ready to open my belt up and just be like, yo, we need to get the fuck out of here because I'm super full right now.
Anytime that I've ever had dessert, it was because it was the person that I'm with that wanted dessert,
Yeah.
and we would like
Yeah,
split
a dessert or something.
yeah, like split it or something. But it's never my choice.
Sometimes if you ever go to like Black and Blue, sometimes they bring out like if it's like an occasion or something, they'll bring out like a chocolate tart with like raspberry and like if you've ever eaten at Black and Blue, it's so fucking bomb.
Black and Blue is a
your
local
steak and crab
surf and turf
Yeah.
restaurant.
and I'm usually just so fucking full that like I feel bad that they gave it to me. So like I'll take like a bite and I'll like try and stuff it down, but like I want no part of it. Like I get
Yeah, I
pissed
don't
when they
care.
bring it out. I'm like, bro,
It's at the
I'm
end,
so
bro. It's
fucking
at the
bored.
end. It's
Yeah.
like, and we're already like, as humans, most of us at least. There are those anomalies that hit a, just like what I'm full. When they know that they're
Right.
full.
I can push
don't
something down if I need to. Like,
No,
it's
bro.
not-
I don't know that I'm full until it gets to the point where I'm uncomfortable.
that's a problem,
That
dog.
is- that is a problem.
That's
Correct.
That's
Correct.
overfull, bro.
Correct. Yeah, but that's something that's always been a problem.
Yeah.
So, but because I don't actually feel full, like I still feel like hungry up to a certain.
Yeah.
It's like I almost have to stop in general.
That's
like
how I
stop
feel when I
eating
smoke.
to let it
To
settle.
let it catch up with you and be like,
then,
oh, wait,
and then
wait,
be
wait.
like, okay,
Dog,
now
you're
I'm
full.
good. You know
You're
what
full.
I
I feel
mean?
you, yeah. They're
Either
like,
that or I
oh,
just
shit,
have
I
to cut
can't breathe.
myself off.
Yeah. I got to unbutton my pants in this Longhorn. It comes
Yeah.
down to that. Yeah. That's
but
me.
I
Yeah.
figured we're all in agreement that
Yeah, I fuck with
Dessert
appetizers.
can go the fuck away.
Appetizers
Yeah,
are,
it
go
can go
hard.
Peace.
son.
word.
All right. What's the worst possible way for someone to catch you jerking off?
The worst.
The worst.
So
There's an obvious answer to this, right?
I mean, any way is pretty bad. But
yeah, but what's the worst?
you seem like you have a very
I
specific.
mean, if someone catches
Yeah, I
you
know.
mid bust, bro, like you're busting
Oh,
and
yeah,
you
'cause
get
you
caught,
can't
like
stop.
you're
You can't
fucking,
stop.
you're done at that point. Like, what are you gonna do? Stop busting? No,
Yeah, 'cause you
you're
can't
not.
stop.
Well,
No,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or like right before.
right, where you don't want to stop, and then you're still gonna bust
Yeah.
a little bit because you like it
No,
was coming
I mean,
anyway, bro.
Then you end up
See,
with
you
blue
were
balls
talking
and-
about you're taking this question as like at what point is the worst?
And you're thinking about like position.
And I'm thinking about like what's the
How many positions you jerk off in,
Get the
bro?
leg up on the when you got the leg up here.
he said that, not me. So he's definitely. I mean,
why I was confused.
these are things I guess that you go through when you go through the entire alphabet of the Pornhub.
Sure,
but
I mean, you got to switch it up. Right?
you gotta switch it up, yeah. No, but I was thinking like situational. So like I'd imagine I don't own the Oculus, but I'd imagine if you are fully immersed in like
yeah.
a VR porn. Like
Oh, man.
sound is
That's
gone,
gotta be
vision is gone,
super
and you're just like,
embarrassing.
and somebody walks in and you have no. So
You
they're-
are here like,
yeah, until they literally have to like
Just
tap you to be like, yo, chill. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
doing.
Other than that, you are going to town on yourself. You're not stopping. You're not covering yourself. That is a pretty bad situation.
I could
that
never
is
VR
probably
porn.
the worst.
No, yeah,
Like
that's
you could never feel completely safe unless like you're in your own house, your doors are locked.
That's it.
No one else lives there. Like
Right,
it
right.
has to be very situational
Well,
for you to just really get into that, bro.
I'll say that when I've seen it. I've
The only
checked it
guy
out.
that has the Oculus
yeah,
here.
yeah, true.
I'll say that it's we only go to those channels or sites on the Oculus when we know that we are going to be alone for multiple hours. And I mean me.
By we, I mean Johnny.
Me and anyone
Yeah.
else who owns an Oculus.
Me and little Johnny.
Little Johnny.
Yeah, it's a definite like, oh, you're gonna be gone for 4 hours. Maybe I'll pull out the VR set while you're
I'm
gone.
by myself. I'm by
Like
myself.
my girl would
And
have to
then
be out
still-
of town.
And I'm still pulling up, find my iPhone to make sure they're not on the way back. How far are they right now? Okay, I got time. They're not walking in the door.
Get the Kevin Hart going. Like I'm by myself. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna beat my dick. I'm gonna beat my dick.
Word. Have you ever
Facts.
seen like the VR porn like on Pornhub? Like where you should be watching it in a VR headset, but it's
But you're
don't
watching
have
it
a-
normally?
you're watching it normally, right? It's just literally like
It's
two
two screens,
sides. It's
right?
like
Pictures
mirrors,
side by
right?
side?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But you can still like click on it and like move around and like look because like
I've
that's
I
never-
remember
never
I remember
done that.
watching one and like all I heard was like some clapping, like someone was getting smashed and like I
Yeah.
couldn't see any fucking. And then I like clicked on it and I dragged the mouse down and then like it zooms down to see. And then I was like, oh, there's the fucking, okay, that's how this
all
goes.
right. Yeah.
So it's like the scenes are dope, but I mean, without a VR headset, it's
Yeah, I mean, you would obviously you would
Yeah.
need the VR
It's no
headset to
good without
completely
that.
be
Sure.
immersed in that.
But like,
in that.
why even upload that shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel you.
For the
I'm just
folks
saying-
with VR headsets, bro. You don't think I got that shit bookmarked?
there should be a separate Pornhub, a VR Pornhub.
that's my point though. Is like that right there, like having the VR fully immersed, like in that
Yeah,
situation.
you're cut off, bro.
No, people like
Yeah.
if somebody were to walk up,
Yeah, that's what I'm
you
saying.
won't know, and they could stand there
Yeah,
and
that's-
like film you. Like
Word.
if it's like your boy or some
fun of you,
shit,
make fun of you,
Yeah,
they're
that's
like-
what I'm saying. Like if it's like your boy or roommate or some shit, they walk in, they're recording you, bro. You know nothing about
That
this
would be embarrassing
until
as fuck.
the worst possible situation happens.
Especially if you're in some weird position like Dave.
and you're busting.
Yeah, she's be like, wait,
Damn.
hold up.
Oh, yeah.
She's gonna tell you, oh, move. You know, she's gonna be trying to like, hold up, fold yourself, and Dave's gonna be like, what? I got what? Okay.
I gotta take my headset off real quick. Nah, I ain't taking it off. Fuck that.
Oh man.
That would be horrible. Other than that, I mean, anything you do in public, that would be embarrassing. But if you're in
Yeah,
public
who
doing
would do
something,
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pee
you
Wee
deserve
Herman.
it.
Pee Wee
yeah.
Herman.
Well,
That's
either
it.
that or you're looking for that thrill. It's just the thrill of getting caught. So you're not really gonna be
Well,
embarrassed.
then you got the thrill.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Because you're busted. What if you were
Yeah.
in public with a VR headset on? Like, that's it.
yeah,
Done.
that would have been that
Public,
would have been
like-
the worst possible spot.
Public like at the movie theater like Pee Wee Herman, or public like in
I was thinking Times Square.
in a restroom of like a restaurant or
Yeah,
some shit.
something like that. Movie theater. Like I know I've had sex in a movie theater.
I was
Yeah,
there.
yeah, you know that's
okay.
that's definitely.
Pause.
But like, imagine going to like one of those, just like going to a restaurant and just being like bored or some shit, and you end up in one of those bathrooms
Right.
where it's like a single like unit, like it's
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
you know, you open the door and that's the bathroom. There's no stalls or no shit, but you forgot to lock the door.
Yeah. See,
Like
something
Somebody
like
walks
that.
in on you and you in there stroking.
That
That's some-
bathroom. That
you busted a
bathroom
number
at the
3.
mall, bathroom at the mall that was near like the remote.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
family one.
Yo, I've walked in on people there before, not jerking off, but like just 'cause,
Oh,
like they don't lock the door, bro. So like if you are cranking it,
Oh,
in
they're
one of
like
those,
piping?
bro, yeah, oh yeah, that there
Oh, yeah, I've
definitely
seen
was
that.
people. Definitely was people fucking in there.
I've heard that before.
We talked about that.
We did.
we did. We
did.
talked about it. Yeah. There
I was like, yo, I
evidence.
recognize that bathroom.
There's some evidence. Yeah, there's some evidence there.
She's getting clapped. So I think we can agree, right? With the headset on, like you're just
That would be horrible, but
yeah,
but
that's
you're out of
got to
it.
be
Like-
number one.
like which portion of
Right.
because like I'm obviously like all of us growing up like as kids, you really have no rhyme or reason. So when you're doing this, there's always been chances
Oh, yeah.
where you were either almost caught or you were caught by a
I've
parent.
almost been caught. Never
I was definitely caught.
never caught before.
I believe I was definitely caught, but the problem is like you just like try to catch, try to stop
Right.
like anything from and try to play it off. So the worst possible situation is when you're busting, you ain't like you don't know what to do because you're just going free, like you know what I mean?
What? No,
So-
there's nothing. Like I couldn't even think of what I would do. Like obviously you have to finish busting, dude.
Oh
like,
my god, bro, that would be the worst,
But do you remember like
Thank
you had
God I
a-
wasn't close.
there was a computer
right?
in the 90s, like when computers were hitting, like you had a family computer room. Like it wasn't like I personally didn't have a laptop in my room.
No,
where,
I
like,
had
I could
I
just
had
jerk
my
off
personal
whenever.
I had my personal computer.
Oh, that must be nice.
No,
Yeah,
I had
the
my-
computer
I
was
had-
in my room.
I
Yeah.
had,
Yeah,
to, I had
yeah.
to crank it at a family computer at like 2 a.m. That
In,
was
like, the den?
in our dining room, bro. Like it was just like there. Like if I'm
I
getting
mean,
caught, like Dave, why
there
are you
was a-
jerking
there-
off?
there
in
was
the
a situation
dining
we
room?
talked very
eat dinner.
early.
We eat dinner in here.
Very early in our pods, I told you that my dad had the scrambler. So before we had the computer, I had the Spice Channel. I had full access to the Playboy Channel and Spice Channel. So that's a similar situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But luckily there was a lock to that door, but that was also the back entrance to our home. So if my parents decided like they're coming into the house through the back this time,
and they had a
then
key,
at any
like,
point,
they're
and they
coming
have
in.
a key, yeah, exactly. So those are situations where it's the same. But my family did not really know how to work computers.
Nice.
So
They weren't checking your history or anything.
yeah, and
like
by
that,
the time
like,
I got a computer, my dad had already moved. I believe my dad had already moved out of the house. He was already,
Nice.
they had already split.
You had free
and he
reign.
gave me his old computer because he got a new computer.
nice.
And I fucked
Went
that
to town.
computer up.
Pouring
Yeah.
it up.
Yep, pouring it up.
That's what's up. Every computer we ever had, every Dell,
Oh yeah, that shit. I had
fucked.
either
Blue
illegal
screens, blow.
illegal porn
blue
and
screens.
illegal not illegal porn,
Kazaa and LimeWire. Illegal
Yeah.
porn. What the fuck are you watching, dog?
but porn downloaded. I mean, it's illegal because I'm not paying for it. but-
Copyrighted?
Yeah, copyrighted. Yeah,
That's much better.
There
I
we
like
go.
copyrighted
porn or illegal music is what I meant to say.
Good old
so, yeah.
Napster.
So what's the
Yeah.
what's the
All right.
Jesus, not gonna help.
Last question, guys.
Let's go.
If you could wipe one group of people off the earth, who would it be?
People.
One group of people.
One group of people.
Any group.
Karens.
I was gonna say that
Karens.
same
Ooh,
shit.
That's
I was gonna
a
say the
good
same shit.
one. That's a good one.
Male or female. Or
Yep.
in between. Anyone
Yeah.
that acts like a Karen.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say the same shit. He stole my answer.
Honestly, like I didn't really even have an answer in mind, but that is great. But I like watching the Karen videos. If the Karens were all gone, and I didn't have any Karen videos, I would be sort of sad.
It's good to
but-
watch other people in that situation, but if you ever experience that shit in your yourself,
and
bro,
we've all
and
experienced.
it's
the Karens.
like it's such a honestly I was going to name like a group of people, but really and it had nothing to do with race or anything like that, but I was thinking like politically, right? But really what it comes down to, because and I didn't want to say that because the specific group, because there are some good people in every group, right? Even if their thoughts are flawed.
I was gonna go neo-Nazis. I
Oh,
feel
for
like
sure.
that-
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's-
No,
that
that's-
was gonna be
that's-
my group, but like Karens or neo-Nazis, same thing.
I don't think
right?
there's any
Like,
good people in the
No,
neo-Nazi.
there's no. There's
They have
none.
good intentions, though. I'm sure they're probably nice if you had dinner with them. Like,
No,
they're not
no.
gonna
I was
hurt
thinking
you.
Sure,
politically.
yeah.
I meant more. My comment was more like politically.
Sure.
But yeah, neo Nazis for
Facts,
sure.
yeah.
No, they could all get fucked.
Neo-Nazis
They could all
can
just
get fucked.
disappear.
Yeah. Karens and neo-Nazis. Fuck 'em.
Any racist really is just like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here with that bullshit already.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like fuck it, we're gonna get canceled anyway, right?
Uh-oh.
So like
Yeah.
a lot of, and again, there are some good people in there. So like I didn't want to name that specific thing, but like conservatives, bro. You know what I mean? It's just like, bro, like holding on to ideologies that are
conservatives?
Yeah.
yeah,
like
exactly.
The QAnon type of.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, like-
QAnon. There's another group that can fuck right off and get
True
fucked.
that. Yeah.
not necessarily conservatives, but yeah, like alt-right or like nothing, like just holding on to a very old way of living.
And let's not be clear, alt left too. Like if
Yeah,
you're fucking
anything.
Yeah.
there's no need for any of that.
Anybody,
Extremists.
Yes,
yeah,
extremists.
There
to
we
any
go.
side.
That's the perfect word for it. Extremist. Any extremist for whatever the fuck your cause is. If you can have a conversation with someone and it will not change your fucking mind, like a logical conversation, and you are just stuck in your ways because you are just completely stuck to your fucking principle, that you're ignoring all that shit.
Right.
Fuck you. You could just get the fuck right on off.
Eat a bag of dicks and go.
Eat a bag of dicks and go.
Bag of dicks.
For real,
That's
though.
right.
It's like you should be able to have an intelligent conversation with people and say, "Hey, I fuck with you." Like, okay, you brought up a good point here. Let's go into this a little bit deeper. Maybe they'll change your mind. Maybe they won't. But if you are so closed-minded to think like, "Oh, this person is a specific type of person, and I don't want to hear anything that they have to say," you're already like, yeah, you could go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I like that.
You're banned.
Yeah, you're banned.
You're done.
All right, so is that was the last?
That was it. That was
questions,
the
right?
last question. Yeah, that was it.
I had a smaller question that's a little bit more Hollywood based. But I've been seeing this comparison online for quite a while, so we could throw it in there real quick. Which movie did you think was better, Infinity or Endgame? Infinity War or Endgame?
Oh.
Because that is the debate. That's been the debate since both movies dropped or whatever. Some people are just like, yeah, Infinity War is definitely the much better movie. I could see that.
I like that redemption. I like that come up. And Endgame obviously felt like more of the come up when, everyone started coming back. And
to me, they feel like two parts of the same movie.
they really, it's like picking a Kill Bill.
They were.
Like they're literally supposed
Didn't
to be
they film
same
the whole
movie.
thing
They
all
just
at
got
once?
chopped
They
up.
did,
Yes.
yeah, they did.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for my money, I think it's Endgame. Like if I see Endgame
Mm-hmm.
on, and honestly, Endgame was on before I came to the pod. Like that's when I was watching literally before I came here.
Yeah.
It's almost like the new Goodfellas. Like if I see it on,
I
like
love it.
I have to fucking
love
just
it.
leave it. Like if there's nothing else going on, bro, I'll leave Endgame. on.
But I felt the same way. I think the reason why people have that conversation is, or it's even the conversation, is because Infinity War itself, right? It was way more action packed from beginning to end, right? You start off on the ship, from the results of Ragnarok when Thanos takes over, takes over the ship. Bruce comes down from that ship and starts warning everybody, and immediately like the shit just hits the fan. Everyone is at war the entire fucking movie, and then it ends with the blip. And we don't know what the fuck is going on. All of our favorite characters, a bunch of our favorite characters disappeared. So I understand the conversation. It is a great fucking movie. And same thing, Infinity War comes on. If it's on, I'm watching it. But Endgame, the redemption, like you said, man, there's something about that movie.
Cap when Cap fucking grabs the hammer,
Yeah,
bro.
man,
Like even
that whole
that
ending
scene alone, bro. Like just that last 15 minutes just really sells it. And it's easy to say, like when you watched Infinity War, you didn't know what was coming. You didn't know what was going to happen. And I mean, that's where
my point is.
There was a lot of action in it, and knowing that Endgame comes, and for the most part, I mean, it's all good. Everyone's all right. You can say, "Oh, I love the action in Infinity War," but the Endgame, literally, the whole movie, the time travel, seeing Tony go back and talk to his dad, I guess if you're action, you're Infinity War. If you're story driven and redemption driven, you're Endgame. And I'm
where I was, dude.
I'm an Endgame guy, but I mean I fuck with both of them. Obviously, we all love both of them. But for my money, I love the story.
I love the story
wrapped up.
I love the fact that Endgame literally made me through specific scenes. Made me fight back tears a couple times throughout the movie. Yeah. And I've said that before. The only time where you're kind of tearing up in Infinity War, and again, I'm a sucker for those type of things because I like those motivational type stuff, like those type of movies. Like I'm a sucker for those type of things where the story brings you to a point where you are like, am I really about to cry over this movie? You know what I mean? But at the end, at the end of Infinity War, that's where you got that, Peter Parker, specifically saying, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. But in Endgame, when bro, me being a father, like I said it before, Ant-Man, when he came to see his daughter and he realized that she didn't blip and he ran to see her and she was older and he's fighting back tears. Bro, I was like.
And the whole Clinton
shit. Yeah, the whole Clinton thing in the beginning, that's how the shit fucking started. So the storyline was strong with that one for me. So I agree. I enjoyed Endgame.
I didn't even realize that Infinity War had more action than Endgame. I guess now that y'all talk about it, it makes sense. And yeah, I'm starting to put a lot of those scenes together. I want to say that Infinity War was a better experience because I really went into it pretty blind. I didn't know what the hell was going to happen outside of the trailers. I definitely watched the trailers, but, and of course, and I'm unfortunately throw some not really shade, but like fault at folks like New Rock Stars, who I've been following for a long time. Really dope YouTube channel. If you're not familiar with it, like they're super smart with, like, they're not casual nerds like us. They know what the fuck they talking about, right?
Right.
And and so the thing with Endgame is that I saw so many breakdowns of every trailer for Endgame that when I walked into the theater and I saw the film finally, it was more like confirmation of everything that fucking Eric Voss said was gonna happen. Like, he basically foretold almost the whole movie. Even the fact that Iron Man died at the end, like when he died, I was like, I was sad, but I was like, wow, I can't believe they did it. Like, it was a lot more of, oh shit, they did it. Oh shit, they did this. Oh shit, they did that. And it was like, it was exciting, but it was also kind of like just confirming the shit that New Rockstars told me was going to happen based on what they were seeing in the trailers. And that's kind of what put me off for a while on watching trailers and watching breakdowns.
And still,
like, that's why I refuse to watch any more of the Batman trailers. I won't watch any more. I won't watch no breakdowns of the Batman trailer anymore. Like, I'll watch the first ones because I'm excited about it. But then after that, and they release more and more shit, and they start breaking more and more down, I'm like, nah, bro, I love y'all, but y'all got, 5 million subscribers who will support you. I can't support this no more because I want to walk in there surprised, and like,
I love being surprised.
like even with Spider-Man, like, it was more like an open secret. But when spoiler alert, when all 3 Spider-Man showed up, I was more like, wow, they did it, and I was happy versus shocked, like, oh my God, they actually did it. Like, it was more like I was happy that it happened, but like, I was
pretty convinced that it was going to happen prior to walking.
Yeah, I was pretty convinced too. We talked about it a lot, but I was still like on the teeter, like, is it gonna happen or not? But so with Infinity War, like, I walked into it, even though I did see the breakdowns in the trailers, like, I still felt like I walked into it less aware of what was gonna happen, and definitely, the fact that it ended on the fucking snap/blip situation, like, I didn't expect that at all, and nobody knew that was gonna happen. And so, like, that's where I was like, oh shit, they fucking just killed half the world. Wow. I knew there was gonna be another part to this movie, but I didn't know they was gonna leave us on this type of a cliffhanger. And so that's the only reason I'll lean a little, I'll give it 53% to 47 Infinity War. But they were both fucking they were both fucking great movies.
Because if you didn't watch all those trailers and spoil the shit for yourself, it would have been a totally different experience.
Absolutely, 100%. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't watch that. So
are they better movies, or I'm just gonna, from my experience, I experienced Infinity War in more of an excited state than the way that I experienced Endgame.
I think you tainted your results.
I did, for sure. That's why I don't do that no more.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's like, I watched half that trailer and I stopped because I didn't want to see any more. It's the only dude that stops watching trailers halfway through.
Facts.
He's like, yeah, I'm done with that.
And for me,
I'm like, yep, that's exciting enough. That's exciting enough. I'm hyped. Let's do it.
You learned your lesson. I'm very proud of you.
And for me, I think even though I enjoy great action, I am a sucker for, because I like action-driven movies, but I know what I'm getting myself into, kind of thing. So I like that, but I am a sucker for good writing and a good storyline, and good moments within this, within the storyline. So an Endgame gave me that more throughout the film, so that's why I lean more towards Endgame. The action in Infinity War, and again, it's all very, very close because I love both of those movies. But that storyline, the story arc, and the fact that multiple, without the action, all feeling, all writing, it was able to get me to a point where I'm just like fuck, I felt bad for these people or for a situation or something. That right there made me enjoy Endgame.
I mean, I was also a little I ain't gonna lie, I was a little turned off on the time warp thing, the time travel thing. I always time travel for me in movies is like,
You think it's a cop-out?
So tough. And it's just like, what did you say? Cop out?
Is it a cop out? Yeah, you think it's a writer cop out?
Sometimes I feel like it can be like, oh, let's just go back in time and fix what happened. It's like, womp womp. But they did it in a really smart way. I did like the way that they used, you know, the multiverse effect about it, and how, you know, you have to bring it back. The way, you know, the Eternal was explaining it, or not the Eternal. What's her fucking name?
Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, but that's her character name? Sorcerer Supreme?
Oh, what's her?
So the
The elder one?
yeah.
The elder one?
The elder one, something like that. I can't remember, but yeah,
chick, right?
Yeah. The way that she kind of broke it down, I love that. Like, that made me feel a lot more comfortable with what was going on with the time travel stuff. But yeah, whenever anyone introduces time travel as the solution, I'm always like, that's an easy right.
It's just a little bit above the, oh my God, it was just a dream cop out.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
no, it can definitely be.
That, oh my God, if they would have done that, I would have fucking walked out the theater.
Yo, I wouldn't have, but I get what you're saying.
No, for sure.
Tilda Swinton was the ancient
Tilda Swinton.
one.
The ancient
The
one.
ancient
Thank you.
one. That's
Thank
what it
you.
was. That's
That
what it was. Yeah.
All right, so we could hop off on this one. We both agreed. Endgame. We
Yeah, it
both
sounds
believe
like
it was
Johnny
Endgame.
went,
and
Infinity
Johnny
War.
went Infinity. No, Johnny went Infinity War, but like he said, it was like 53%
personal,
to
it's
the
personal.
47.
He's
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
the dissenting opinion.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. I like these conversations. I like these conversations.
He's our Clarence Thomas.
All right, before we jump over, I was gonna bring something up in the last question, and I forgot about it until we brought up this bonus question. But now I'm gonna bring it back up. We gotta have to let's reverse back to conversation about porn, because I wanted to ask y'all this.
I'm in.
I know Dave's in. This is bothering me a lot.
Okay.
What the fuck is up with, like? And maybe it's just the channel that the website that I go to. So, you know, I use X videos as my number one.
I know where this is going.
Why the fuck is it like, I feel like 90% of all the porn is like mother, son, brother, sister shit. Like, what the fuck is up with that? Like, I'm a little tired of the mother-son porn. Like, nah, bro, I don't want to fuck my mom.
Yeah.
Never had an idea to fuck my mom. Don't want to fuck ever.
Actual, not step.
It's usually step.
Sometimes,
usually
but sometimes it is. Sometimes it's step. But sometimes it's just like,
That's
I mean, it's all actors, right?
Sure,
But they
yes.
still, like, they try
I
to
know,
make it
but even
seem
just-
real.
Even
And
even
sometimes,
the thought of like
even when it is stepmom, she still says shit like, "Oh, do you want mommy to do this?" or mommy's, you know, and it's just like, nah,
That's
that
just
shit
weird,
turns,
yeah,
that
that's
shit
just
makes my dick go soft, man. Like, stop with the mommy shit. I don't want to hear that. I love POV porn. That shit is dope, but why you got to turn that into mom shit? No,
Right.
yeah. I don't know.
I don't get the fad.
I mean, I guess I sort of put the storyline and everything to the side when I'm like,
I do too,
I
yeah.
mean, I definitely
Agreed.
you hear the mommy and the daddy and stuff, and I guess the daddy flies a little better.
Oh,
than
I
the
mean, I
mommy.
usually skip forward past the storyline stuff,
sure.
right?
I'm not into
But
like
then it makes its way in the middle, right? She's getting
It does.
fucked. She's like, "Oh, baby, oh, your daddy never does this," and it's like,
Right. And like the dad's always like about to come home, or he's in the other room, or like he's at the table and the dude's getting blown under the table by the stepmom.
Why did
and,
this
like, the
become
dad has
the
no
number
idea.
one genre of
I
fucking
have no
porn?
idea. And it's been for a while.
And honestly, it's been years. It's been
yeah,
like
it's
probably
been-
2 years or so that like the step sibling genre has
so weird.
really been
It's so weird.
really been hitting.
So weird.
And like even like new content that comes out, like they're still going with that. Like I don't understand it. And like it's always super awkward. It's like, no, step bro, get away
Right.
from me. Mom's in the other room. And he's like, it's bad,
Yeah.
dude. It's like even worse than normal porn dialogue. Like I feel like that tones it down. I mean, like it
I'm not
doesn't
a-
take me out of it, but like
I'm
you
not
said, it's odd.
dialogue.
Yeah.
I've got over it.
I'm not a porn
past it.
dialogue scenario person anyway. I like more of the. I forget what they
Agreed,
call
but
it.
I'm not I'm not
Gonzo.
watching this shit
No,
on
no, no, I
mute.
get you.
Gonzo.
Yeah, I like
Where
the
they're just
Gonzo stuff.
fucking everywhere, anywhere. There's no dialogue. There's no scene.
dialogue.
Like
Nope.
they're not
It's
in
just-
makeup.
she
They're
has
just in a
She
parking
has a
garage.
fat ass.
Fucking
Like that's all I'm really looking at. Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason as to where these two fucking met.
Yeah.
Like who gives a fuck?
That's all we need, bro. Like we don't
Yeah.
need like.
I don't get
Agreed.
into. I don't get
need,
into stories.
I don't need parodies. I don't need costumes. I don't need a set designer. I need none of that. I need
Nope.
Just
penetration.
want a fly chick.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
That's and penetration.
Fly chick
Yes,
penetration. Yep, some good positions because the positions
Even,
matter.
sometimes I can go without
mean,
penetration
you
if
ma-
it's
you
the
make-
right chick.
I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
that's rare. I would
Yeah,
say
very
maybe
rare.
5 times a
Very
year.
rare, yeah.
I'll bust to something that has no penetration at all. It's usually like it's too late at that point
I
anyway.
like I like
it's
solo
just
stuff
gotta
too.
happen.
Like I like
See, no, that doesn't. This
because
is my like,
sometimes-
a little bit. I like the
if it's the right chick and the right, like it has to be very, very specific.
Yeah, no, for sure it has to be very specific. But if it's like the right, if it's the right chick and
Sure.
like cam is very big now. Not necessarily
Yeah.
like going to the cam sites.
Sure.
But if you go through any site, you're gonna find a
Because
cam
those
just
girl.
the-
girls,
like,
those
the
girls, they all
captures,
sell
yeah.
their-
Yeah,
they,
like
they
where-
sell
where-
their videos. And
Yeah,
they get
exactly.
posted. You know,
They get
anywhere.
posted everywhere. So
Right.
like those cam girl stuff, the cam girl stuff, like I get into that. I think
bad.
much more
Not
than the
bad.
situational stuff a little bit.
Because I mean, at least
But
you know it's real. Like that's a
Right,
chick in
and I
her
think-
room, like pounding her own
and I
shit.
think
Like
that's
there's
where-
no bullshit there.
I think that's where the allure comes from, not
Yeah.
necessarily like I've already had it, like I already got it out of my mind. I'm not like thinking, oh, I'm boning this chick, which a lot of people put themselves in that situation.
No. I'm
It's
in
more
the
so-
room watching them bone.
Yeah, I think I get the enjoyment more.
get all creepy
dude
about
in the
it.
corner.
You're just
You
watching
can't
it.
think about it that way because you're shoulders hunched up. But it's more. I think for me the allure is more like.
Creepo.
I think for me the allure is more like, yo, she's doing this for me, kind of thing, you know.
Right. It's the show for
Rather
one.
than me trying to, rather
Word.
than me trying to think
She
like
talking to you.
it's me, rather than me thinking like it's me boning, like obviously it's not boning me because
Right.
you know,
Like, that's not my dick.
Either that's a black dude fucking you, or that's a white dude fucking you.
You don't watch
know what
any
I mean?
Puerto Ricans? Do you ever
Not
search for
mine.
Puerto Rican porn? Do you ever just
Like,
like
that's
type
not my
in
dick.
Puerto Rican booty or something like that? See if it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah, there's Puerto Rican booty, of course.
Because you
There's
can't
some-
just go to the
there's some good
Latina.
PR porn.
That could be Mexican. Like there could be all kinds of Latinas, right?
Yeah, oh,
That's
all
true.
over the-
Yeah.
But
it's
but I guess-
usually it's usually like
but I-
Mexican or Argentine or Colombian. or some
Colombian,
shit. Rare to be
Brazilian,
Puerto Rican.
some Brazilian boot. Okay.
But I guess to that point is like I don't really notice that there's more of it. I know that that's more of a trend because of like social media and all that shit. Like people make fun of that. It does pop up like in certain things, but for the most part, I'm just like searching for something very
Just
specific.
something sexy. Like, I-
something specific.
Sure.
Like whatever strikes my fancy at that point, you know,
Yeah.
I'm searching for that. Pog, big ass, or whatever the fuck, and then I'm searching for very specific. I'm not clicking through that bullshit like stepsister, stepbrother.
Word.
Like what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, even like
Shit
the-
is weird. And I don't subscribe to like Reality Kings or anything like that where that would be
pay for anything. No.
no, but I'm saying, but that's where I would imagine a lot of that content comes from.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Bang
like
Bros.
Brazzers, all that production value.
There's
Yeah,
so
all that
many
production
like
shit.
big.
.coms that are in the bottom right corner of the shit that I see. I stop paying attention to who the fuck is producing this shit.
You need those mom and pop producers, like not the Brazzers, just like they run their own little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a wife and a husband. Like there's a channel I've seen. There's a bunch of videos, dude. It's like this wife. It's the video series is called Slut Inspection. Okay, and it's basically this wife records her husband banging random porn stars, and like this wife is
Props.
she's not attractive. Okay, she's a bigger girl, and like I have to wonder deep down inside how she feels watching her husband, who is
probably gets
he's
off
an
on it.
athletic, strong guy.
Probably gets off. Yeah.
Just railing the hottest chicks, bro. And like she'll do selfies like with them, and like they're like fucking in the background.
she
here,
gets
and,
off
like,
on that.
She's just like, yeah, and she'll tweet that shit.
I'm
And
gonna
I'm
have to
like,
look this
damn,
one up.
girl. Like, yo,
just
and
I just
but that's what
want
I'm
to see
saying.
this chick taking a selfie while her
bro,
husband
there's so
is
many.
fucking
There's
some
just
other
pound
chick.
different positions. He's like got her
That's
face
wild.
buried in pussy, dude. Like it's
But that is a
Oh my
thing. That is
God.
like
and
that
they're
is
making
why.
money,
Remember
bro, and they're
what's
making money.
what's
So
the
God bless them.
I
what's
bet.
the what's the when it's a guy watching it is a cuck or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it can
Yeah,
both.
cuck-
It can go
cuck-
both ways.
Oh, that goes both
Oh,
ways.
yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, that's a fetish. It's like seeing someone else bang your significant other. Like
not a
that is a
fetish that
fetish.
I'm into.
And I would imagine
That's
that's
wild.
somebody who's addicted to porn, but now they seeing someone that they love in this porn. Like extremely addicted to porn. That might be Dave in like 70-year-old Dave,
if I was
60,
gonna be,
70-year-old
be
Dave.
addicted, it would have happened by now.
Well, yes,
It's
but
been a solid 25 years. I
But-
could stop at any time, guys. I could stop
Yeah.
at any time.
but if somebody is that, I don't know. I don't know what would get that. what would get someone to that position?
Nothing
pretty
could
hot
want to
chicks
make
on
me
here.
watch my significant other get banged out
No.
every day.
Unless you're Hugh Hefner.
So then you're taking pictures, like just selfies, your girl getting
Yeah.
banged in the background. Nah.
Hell no. Hell no.
Hell no. All right,
Fists
all right.
swinging. It's going
All
down.
right, on that great promotional clip.
Hey, so I just want to. I really want to put it out there that if you would really love for us to promote your brand, this is where your promotion would go. Okay.
We put it between
Right
the
here.
step sibling porn.
Yep. And
You know what it's time for. News clips.
And news clips.
I love it.
all right, Johnny, let us know what news you have for us this week.
Word. News clips. You already know. Let's run through some headlines of shit that happened since the last time we recorded. I want to start it off with some kind of recent shit. I don't know how y'all feel. We don't really talk too much sports shit on this show, but this was a pretty big NFL weekend this past weekend, and one of the biggest. I mean, I want to say every game was pretty dope. If y'all watch
were all really
football
good.
at all. They all ended in the last second. Like they were all last minute plays that decided the game. Big controversy right now is on the Chiefs Bills game, which is the last game of the week. In that the fact that
I know where he's going with this. Even I
the
know.
overtime basically decided how the game ended, and the NFL has some like weird overtime rules. It used to just be straight up sudden death, like whoever scores first wins the game. And then people cried about that for a long time, so the NFL changed it in that, well, if they just get a field goal, then the other team gets a shot. But if they get a touchdown first, game over still. And of course, Bills fans are stupid upset that the fact that they did not win the coin toss. And so thus the Chiefs got the ball. The Bills couldn't stop them. Like they couldn't stop them for the last 10 minutes of the game. And so the Chiefs won the match. And now people are all up in arms trying to get the NFL to change overtime rules. Do you think the NFL should change these overtime rules?
I mean, I've always wondered that in general. Because I noticed if, like in basketball, right? If it goes into overtime, they just keep going back and forth until the buzzer run out. But I
They
understand
play the whole overtime out.
They
Yeah.
play the whole overtime. But I understand why that has to be. It's not as drawn out as football is, where it goes back and forth for however long. So I can understand why that is. But you brought up a good point online where they had the chance the last time that this happened for a major game. They put up the vote to see who would vote, who wants to change the overtime, and the Bills were one of the teams that decided against it. They wanted to keep shit. exactly as it was. Now it wasn't.
It's only a problem,
disadvantage.
when they get knocked out of the playoffs, then it becomes
Right.
a
Yeah,
hot
and I
button
don't even
issue.
know. I don't even know if the organization themselves are having an issue with this. It's just
Nobody
the
in
fans,
nobody
right?
in the organization bitched about this. Was literally all fans
Yeah.
tweeting Bill's Twitter, Bill's social media. Like the organization, the players, they know what the fuck it is.
Yeah,
like,
it's
they
the
have
game
no
is the game.
misconception. Exactly.
Game is the game.
And it just similar to like what I said to Johnny, like in college and in college football, each team, regardless of if you get a field goal or a touchdown in overtime, gets a possession.
Yeah.
And for those kids, I think that's awesome. They should be fair, sure, give them a participation trophy in overtime. But when you have grown men getting paid probably more money than we'll ever see in our lifetimes to play this game, go out there, do your job. If the coin toss doesn't go your way, play defense, stop the team from scoring, and win the game. Like this isn't Pop Warner. These aren't little kids. These are grown ass men that know what the fuck they're getting paid for. It's not a hand holding contest. Like the Bills know damn well they voted against that rule. Like I can't imagine that any NFL teams would. Honestly, I mean, was there a list of teams that said yes, we would want to change that? I know you said
basically,
the Bills voted no.
So it is what ended up happening is I looked into it a little further. The post that I put up was a little bit misinformation in that what really happened is the Chiefs. This was, I think, in 2018. I can't remember exactly when it happened, but it was maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. The Chiefs brought it up in that NFL ownership meeting where they decide what are the new rules that we're going to have or whatever for next year. The Chiefs brought it up. It did not get enough support to even be brought up to a vote. So basically, the Chiefs said we should do it, and most of the other teams were just like, I'm not going to support you to make this even a thing that we vote on. So it's not necessarily that the Bills said no. It's that the Bills were like, I'm not even going to give you support to make it a thing that we say no to. So nobody really fucked with it. So basically you could say pretty much everybody was like, nah, just leave it as is.
Yeah. And I feel like they feel the same way. Like they know what their job is.
And I was trying to think
I'm sure
of,
now they might bring it up. They might bring it up this year because now shoes on the other foot, right? And so, you guys, we've been thinking about this a little bit.
Maybe we had this all wrong here. Yeah.
No, and obviously, especially with my unpopular opinion from last week, I'm not the biggest sports guy. But so I was trying to think of, as you asked this question, I was trying to think of pros and cons on that. And at first I was thinking, that would seem fair to at least see how the first run goes. They score. Maybe you get it if you don't make it or whatever, you don't score this time around. But then again, I can see how, okay, so you both go, now we're going into double overtime, triple over, all of these,
right.
all
Where
this.
does it end? Where does it end?
Where does it end? Unless there's a hard stop. But you brought up a good point. It's cool. The coin toss didn't go your way. Now it's time for you to really bring up your fucking defense. So if your defense,
it's a whole team.
Yeah, if your defense can't fucking do the job,
they weren't going to do it with another set of downs. Then, right? What is the point? But honestly, I could see maybe in the playoffs specifically giving. Maybe. If there was any kind of concession and there were a time for it, the playoffs when, these teams like Buffalo and KC, if you were watching that game, they were trading blows. Whoever got that fucking ball, you knew they were going to win the game.
Yeah.
So when it comes on that, when you have the best of the best, like you normally do in the playoffs, aside from Cincinnati's trash ass this season, you, for the most part, you're going to be going head to head. You're going to be smashing. I could see if it were to happen, maybe just from the championship game or maybe just the Super Bowl or something where it's big, dude, and it fucking matters.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't see it going that way. I don't see a need for that. I wouldn't want to see that. Even if my team, I'm not a Bills fan, I'm a Green Bay fan. They got their ass kicked out of the playoffs this weekend as well. I would not want to see that. And I mean, that's happened to Green Bay, dude. They keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. He sits there with his thumb up his ass. What the fuck are you going to do when you're not on the field? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the game right now. And I don't see it changing.
Yeah. Football is one of the weird sports. I'm trying to think of another sport where you only play one side, right? Where you only play defense, or so there's like technically two separate teams that are on the, there's a defensive team and an offensive team, where I feel like almost every other sport, if not every other sport, like you play both defense and offense. You don't just play one side. I guess, but no, I mean, you're playing offense and defense. You hit, I guess, in the American League.
Not at the same time.
Not at the same time, but you as a player are responsible for both what happens on defense and what happens on offense. That's what I'm saying. We're like, like Aaron Rodgers can never do anything defensively. It's nothing.
The kicks are out of his control. The punts are out of his control. I get what you're saying. Yep, that's correct.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. I definitely, feel like it came, it happened, it affected. But yeah, the defense should have and the other thing too about the NFL compared to other sports is it's probably one of the most, if not the most physical sport. And so you keep on playing back and forth, you're opening yourself up to more injuries which is only going to demand more, and somebody brought this up on one of my comments about it on the book, is like, this probably was held back. And the reason they didn't vote on it is because the owners knew that if they did support this, then the players union was going to come back and demand more money, because you're asking them to play more time. And if you're asking them to play more time and risk their body more often, then they're going to say, we need, a 10% pay increase or some bullshit.
And they already extended the season by a week, added a whole nother week.
Exactly. Adding a whole nother week of games.
That's huge.
That shit, was a big fight with the players union. So, I could see this not going well for ownership, which is why they'll probably never support that.
At the end of the day, if your team played their heart out, whatever, and they lost because their fucking defense didn't do the fucking job,
right?
You got to eat that.
You got to eat it.
I mean, they should have played better in the beginning of the game, and it wouldn't have gone to overtime.
It shouldn't come down to that. Honestly, that's another great point, dude. Do your fucking job and don't let it go to overtime. Word. Exactly. I didn't even think of that. That's fucking brilliant. Do your fucking job.
Word.
Episode title.
All right, moving on to some. Let's go to political shit. I got two kind of political type of stories. The first one, this was actually kind of funny, but I also think I only find it funny because it's it's on our side this time. So basically, a couple days ago, or maybe when was it? No, it was yesterday on Monday. So this Monday, there was a news conference with the president, and at the end of there obviously he's having his standard news conference, and
fall asleep again.
Nah. So at the end of the news conference, the reporters are walking out of the room, and there's a news reporter in the the gaggle of reporters that are always in the White House press room from Fox News. His name is Peter Doocy. Peter Doocy is the son of I think his name is Stephen Doocy, but he's like the Doocy guy from Fox and Friends, which is like the morning show. He always says a lot of really dumb shit. They got tons of clips of him saying dumb shit. And so his son got a job at Fox News, also asking a lot of dumbass questions. And there's lots of clips of him saying
that tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks for sure.
Very, very much so. And so the show was ending, or the press conference was ending, and as reporters are being walked out of the room, Peter Doocy asks of the president, "Do you think that inflation is good for the country?" Which is kind of a dumbass question, right?
Sure.
And so the thing was, no, he says, do you think inflation is a political liability in the midterms? And so what happened was they were all walking out of the room, but the president's mic was still hot. And so President Joe Biden says in a very deadpan, sarcastic voice, yeah, it's a great asset. More inflation. And then he goes, what a stupid son of a bitch.
I heard that. I heard the hot mic, stupid son of a bitch. I didn't know if it was new or if it was old.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's kind of great.
So yeah, it's it's a lot of talk about this, right? Because obviously, from my level, one, I find it funny. Because somebody's talking shit about Peter Ducey, he's a fucking douchebag. But at the same time, there's people that are like, oh, that's not presidential, and
get the fuck out of here with all that shit.
He shouldn't talk like that.
If Trump would have said that, they would have praised the fuck out of him.
I'm pretty sure Trump's got caught on hot mics.
So this is the thing, right?
1,000%.
This is the controversy is like. Do I find it funny? So I'm gonna give him do I find it funny? Yeah. I find it fucking hilarious. Do I think it's presidential? Nah, it's not presidential for sure. I'll agree.
Nah, it's not.
Probably not the right thing. Probably got caught. It's a slap, shaking my head, slap your face kind of moment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not gonna let. At least for me, I'm not going to let like these conservative folks that are clutching their pearls over like, I can't believe the president would do this. And what level of the presidency has stooped to under President Joe Biden when this motherfucker, Donald Trump,
Pussy
was
grabbing.
saying shit like this all the time.
Yeah.
No, just
Crazy.
this same exact thing. How many times did he call reporters son of a bitches on camera, on recording,
And they
in the
wouldn't give a
press
fuck.
conference
They
room,
wouldn't care.
at fucking these events? There was literally like at every one of his rallies. It's basically like a
hypocrisy,
moment. It's a fucking like a timed moment where people would turn around and like point at the CNN cameras and be like, fuck CNN, you guys are fake news, get the fuck, like that was a thing that they did all the time. So like, it's like you just said, the hypocrisy of talking
they would
shit.
call that presidential. They would love it because with him, he's not afraid to be the everyday man's you know what I mean?
Right.
Like whatever.
Yeah,
And then
we're gonna
some
drink
shit like
liberal
that.
tears over here.
Yeah, exactly. And then some shit happens like this, because you know me, I'm not like, I don't give a fuck about politics. But the one thing that does piss me off, again, is the hypocrisy. And that's why I get upset, and that's why that was my answer earlier in the episode, is because both sides, right? There's extremists on both sides who cannot who can't have a fucking conversation. They can't have a conversation. We can't sit there and it's a lot. It's like, it's your everyday person. We all have a fucking family member that you have to bite your tongue, or you are going to get in an all-out fucking screaming match or fight or whatever the fuck, because it doesn't matter how many good points you bring up. It doesn't matter the situation. You can bring up facts like you said, right? So this president, they're bringing that out. Oh, that's not presidential. You would bring up the fact. You would bring up the fucking video of Trump saying that and people praising him for something, saying the same exact shit. And they will still defend him and tell you and try to tell you why that was defendable. But this right here, this is not presidential. Right?
All right, yeah,
and
that group can get the fuck out of America and
that
the
is
world.
and that is exactly why I say those people who you can't even talk about and you can't bring up facts, and then they'll say, okay, no, you brought up a good point. If you can't, and this is about anything, not necessarily politics. With anything, if you are not open-minded to the point where you can have a conversation and reach a mutual agreement where you agree to disagree or whatever, just casually have this conversation, you can get the fuck on out. You can fucking disappear. Get the fuck, yeah. kick rocks.
Deuces.
I hate that shit with a passion. That's why I don't even follow it, because I would get, if I was into politics to that extent, having that argument, I would, oh my God, like I don't even want to waste my energy.
So what you're saying is our next podcast should be like you and I discussing politics.
Yeah. You would, I mean, you wouldn't want me on there.
Get you hyped. Just get you hyped.
You can get me hype. You can get me, because I don't understand enough to really get into conversations with people because again, I don't want to follow it to that point. Yeah. But I it even comes down to the amount of people that are now rallying over like mask, no mask, like all, like it just boils down to just shit that it's just like, bro, like I get it. You don't like the mandate. I don't like the mandate either. I don't want to do it. But if this small business, which you are on the side of small business, you are on the side of the little man, right? But if supposedly, even if it's a big corporation, supposedly, right? But if these are state mandates, right? And they're choosing, yo, I don't want the smoke, just abide by this, and you are giving the bare minimum worker shit over a fucking mask. They can't control that. They were told, hey, do not let people do, like, even little shit like that. That shit is, you know what I'm saying? Like, little shit like that. Little shit like that pisses me off. It pisses me off. They can fuck right off.
Word.
I love it.
Because I don't talk about politics much because of that same exact thing. And I know people on every side of it, but the people that are just so stubborn that can't even think, like they just can't think for themselves, and they're calling other people sheep when they're fucking sheep themselves. It's so aggravating more than anything, really.
I think I was stoked to hear just be real. Like, that's like, a real comment.
We know he's not the greatest fucking president in the world.
Something my dad would say. Like, just to hear him that like he agrees with like my line of thinking. Like, yes, he realizes, that this dude is a stupid ass piece of shit. Like it's refreshing for him to, even though he got caught on the hot mic, it's not presidential. Like, for me to know that, like, at his core, when he thought no one was listening, when he didn't think he had to be presidential, like, that's how he feels. And, like, I like that. I agree with that.
It's like Fauci the other day who got caught saying, like, calling the senator a moron because he asked him a dumbass question.
I fuck with that too.
Bro. Hiding your true nature because you are in a specific, bro, just like speak your fucking mind. Then we know where you are. We know who you are. We know where the fuck you that other bullshit where they're just trying to speak to that's the biggest problem, right? Is like that's the biggest accusation when people are running for office, is just like, oh, he doesn't mean that because he did this. I think we need younger. We need to lower that fucking the presidency age there just by a little bit. Because all these old motherfuckers, man, they're stuck in their ways. We know that.
I think it's 35.
30 something. Yeah, it's like 35, bro. Like, yes. Just because we've had old ass presidents.
Bro, when the fuck have we ever had a younger president?
Buttigieg,
that is
Buttigieg was the closest. I think he's only like 40 or some shit.
Yeah,
he's probably the youngest dude that I think that had any
they will never go into everybody's old as fuck.
JFK was youngish, right? What, 40s?
Youngish.
He's the youngest that's ever
they killed him.
Served.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. Buttigieg is 40 right now, so he was probably like 38, 39 when he was running.
Damn, that would have been crazy. I wouldn't even know what that's like
to see
someone that looks sort of like me instead of like my grandpa. That'd be crazy.
That'd be wild. But I don't know, man. It's just anybody that's just stuck in their ways, man. There's no growth there.
Speaking of stuck in their ways,
yeah.
In another kind of almost political thing, but keeping on the Fox News train, Tucker Carlson.
Politics.
Ooh, Tucker
Carlson is really. Yeah.
I know where you're going
our
with this
our favorite guy. He's really mad. He's really mad about the chocolate and the way that it's depicted to Americans. So my man Tucker Carlson is not happy that Mars Candy has decided to make the M&M's brown and green candy cartoons less sexy, according to him. Quote, M&Ms will not be satisfied until every last cartoon character is deeply unappealing and totally androgynous until the moment you wouldn't want to have a drink with any one of them. That's the goal. When you're totally turned off, we've achieved equity. They won. And my question is, why does Tucker Carlson want to have a fucking drink with chocolate M&M?
Yeah.
Bro, I had to look this up.
That's a good question.
I had to look this up because I'm like, in no way, shape, or form did I ever see, other than it was like a female with female traits. Like no way, shape, or form.
Female
did I think,
voice,
like,
not even female traits. Female voice.
I mean, you know, she
What?
like had like
Colored lips, I guess?
eyelashes, yeah.
Long
But I
eyelashes,
was like,
I guess, yeah,
That's
sure.
That's all I really thought about. I was like, damn, was there like a shape that I was missing, like, you know, or something,
Right.
on this M&M? So I looked it up, and it really, this whole thing is because they decided to change the M&M's shoes from high heels to sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
This is the
Well,
whole
black heels.
Oh,
She
black
got black heels.
Either
So it
way,
went
black
from
heels.
stilettos to black heels.
Oh, is that
Still
what it
heels.
is? Yeah, it's still heels.
One of them got sneakers. The other one got black heels. But
Okay,
they're
I did
still
see the one
fucking
with the
high heel
sneakers.
shoes.
But it's like,
And Tucker Carlson is losing sleep over this.
yeah,
Losing his fucking mind, bro.
Bro, that's the most wild part of this story is that
no one would have even noticed.
anybody gives a shit more than Tucker Carlson. Like,
No one would have noticed.
is the news slow? Like, is his life okay? Like, what is going on with Tucker Carlson that this is the hill that he decides he wants to die on? Like, I don't understand like what he's thinking, and nor would I want to try, because the dude's obviously a dipshit. But yeah, I mean it's more sad than anything. Like, who cares about the M&Ms? Like,
Word.
this is more like somebody needs to check in on Tucker Carlson to see if everything is fucking okay, bro. Because that's not something
he
you should
wants-
be concerned about,
I mean,
dog.
he
Right
was-
now, during a global pandemic, that's what he's worried about.
During the pandemic, Lola Bunny was, you know, they changed her outfit. They
That's
desexualized
true, yeah, they changed her outfit.
That was the first straw. Now M&M's, fuck
M&Ms.
that, man. They're going for Hershey's now.
If Tucker Carlson can't jerk off to sexy cartoons or
Word.
advertisements, then I mean, what is this world coming to?
It was the stilettos for him.
It was. I mean, it's the stilettos for all of us, right?
it
Is there
was the
like
stilettos
is there
for
like step M&M porn that Tucker Carlson is
I don't know.
is into? I'm not
sure.
sure.
But only if it's the M&M's mom talking to you and then
Right.
telling you how
Yeah.
she's a sexy M&M now because
Yeah.
she wants to teach you how to lose your virginity.
And the yellow M&M has to be jerking off in the corner,
Yeah.
or else he can't get
There
off.
you go.
Yep.
Sorry, Tucker.
All right.
Brown
Moving
mom
on,
is the mom. The brown M&M is the mom.
Always.
All right, moving on. This was an interesting story I came across that I was like, I bet you the guys will probably fall in line with this. So the tweet that went out that got a little pop. So this, a little context. Y'all may not be aware because this happened on Black Twitter, not regular Twitter, which apparently
I only subscribe. I only have a white Twitter account. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
you only got a white
Where
Twitter
can I
account.
sign up for this Black Twitter?
I have about 26% stake in that.
26, according to 23andMe. So the tweet was, imagine someone puts a gun to your head. So this question goes to y'all too. Imagine someone puts a gun to your head and tells you to name 3 Bow Wow songs.
Can't do it. Can't do it. I saw this. I did see this now that you say it. And I thought about that when I read the tweet. I could not tell you one Bow Wow song. Honestly, I know what he looks like. I can picture his face, but like, I have no idea what he sings.
Out of my system.
None.
He said I could picture his face.
I know what he looks like.
And the crazy,
it.
Bow
Hold
Wow's
on.
only 34 years old.
He is. Out of my system. Let me hold you, I think is the second one.
Don't look at me, bitch. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
And I'm pretty sure he probably has a song because
doesn't know
I don't know the third one. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a third
And my
one.
man's African.
I would be thinking
that was
about this.
Nigerian in his test.
I was thinking about like I would think about it long and hard if I actually had a gun to my head, but I'm pretty sure.
Story. It's like, oh shit.
But I got two out of three. I'm pretty sure he probably has a song named Bow Wow.
I'm gonna say no. You
Bow
when he
Wow,
was
yeah,
young.
that was his first drop. That's the only one that I would
Look
know.
at that.
Is
So
Bow Wow, that's my
out of
name.
my system.
'Cause it's his
and
name.
Let Me Hold You.
That was, I think, his first song that he dropped when he was like, I don't know, 10 years old or some shit, was like Bow Wow, that's my name, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
The only other one that, I mean, when I first saw this tweet, I was like, ooh, yeah, I got zero idea. I can't think off the top of my head. Somebody put a gun to my head. Off the top of my head, the only one I would come up with is, I think he got a song with his name, right? Bow Wow. And I wouldn't even have said Bow Wow. I would have said Little Bow Wow, right? Like he got a song called Little Bow Wow.
Yeah.
And I would have been dead. The other song that I did see from the list, so the top songs here, I think, is Bounce With Me, Let Me Hold You, Like You, Bow Wow, That's My Name, and then the only other one that I recognized that I was like, oh yeah, I may have eventually arrived at this, was Fresh As I'm Is.
Oh no, see.
But
Out of My
other than
System
that-
was my shit because I like the song. That's the one he had with T-Pain. And that was a dope one at that time.
At that time.
Yeah, at that time. That was
It's
dope.
not fire no more. At
Nah,
that time, no.
I'll still fuck with that one. That's probably the only one that I would fuck with.
Nah.
And the Let Me Hold You became a TikTok trend recently, so that's why it popped in my head.
Bow Wow
really?
fucked up.
That's why it's in your head.
Bow
Yeah,
Bow
yeah.
Wow fucked up if no one can remember his shit like that. That's bad.
Nah, I mean,
Yeah, word.
once-
He actually
once he
responded and was like, he said, damn, I'm only 34 and y'all can't name 3 of my songs. I'm about to start telling people I'm 56.
he was so once he stopped being like a kid and then tried to be an adult artist.
He just became
It was-
another rapper.
yeah, nobody-
you get lost
nobody
in the
can-
mix at that point.
Not even that. It was just like nobody wants to hear. Like you are that kid forever. So it's just like it's a little fucking Bow Wow.
You should just stay.
You know?
Even now, he should still be Lil Bow Wow. Like I wouldn't even have dropped the Lil. Like you just got to run with that because that's all fucking people know you as.
Mm-hmm. He's still trying to. Oh no, he gave up the music now, and he's more.
I think
into,
so, yeah.
He's more into like TV shit, like he's like hosting shit and.
I ain't gonna
Whatever.
remember that shit either. So he might as well just go work at Home Depot or put out some good fucking music.
Nah, he ain't
Yeah,
putting
that
out
ain't
no
happening.
music. But hey,
Home
hey,
Depot. Home
you know,
Depot's more
I'm-
likely.
I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but I would have survived.
No, I'm getting clapped. I'd be like, yo, just shoot
I
me,
would've-
dog.
I would have survived with those 3 off the wall guesses.
Clear
Yeah,
my browser
you would've
history
made it.
and pull the trigger.
I'd have made it.
You would've
They
made
would've- The killer would have been like, "Fuck."
Right.
Like he'd be
Damn it.
Googling it to check you,
All
make
right.
sure you're right. Like, oh,
You.
Bow, okay, Bow Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
You good. All right.
Damn it.
All right,
Nobody. You realize you're the first person that ever said that, and I've killed like 6, 7 people before you.
The fuck.
It's got to be in there somewhere.
Scroll through.
So we know that Tom Cruise is doing a movie with his production company that is supposed to be like in space.
Yeah. Yep.
Like where they're actually going to be filming in space. And apparently they released and announced this week that they're going to actually build a whole production studio
up there. Yeah. I
and
heard about
attach
that.
it to the International Space Station.
That's insane.
Fucking wild.
Yeah.
That's the
insane.
most Tom Cruise shit I've ever heard in
Word.
my life. You know, like
yeah.
if you said that about if you were like, yo, guess who is gonna build a film production? Like I would be Tom Cruise. Would 100% be my answer. Like in
But
space, like
is
that
it Tom
just
Cruise that's doing it? I know they're
sounds
doing
like
the
him.
movie.
He's
I know they're
probably
doing the
funding
movie.
the whole thing, bro. I bet it's
He's
all
he's
fucking
part
Tom
of the
Cruise.
production company.
And
yeah.
Scientology.
He's
So
a
both of
co-producer.
them together, yeah.
Who in
I'm
their
sure the
fucking
Church of Scientology is throwing dollars at this.
L. Ron Hubbard is going to produce this space station.
So you as an actor, you get this role, and they tell you that you have to actually fly up into space, other than you're not Tom Cruise, you're at
just
this
a regular
point,
dude.
you're you know, it's just and it's not just you, it's an entire team of
Let's
of
pretend
actors.
you're Adrian Brody.
Right. Going into space is like, hey, cool, you got the part. So let me tell you, this is being shot at the space station at our studio in space.
See, now I'm getting scared because going into space, just the idea of being like just a thin bit of metal between me and space, bro. Like, it's almost like open water for me, dog. I'm gonna get anxiety in space, like just the G forces when you're getting launched, but just like space movies. Like, what's the Sandra Bullock one where she's fucking just flailing through space? No,
Gravity.
gravity, bro. That shit fucks me up. Bro. I can't like anybody alone in space. Ad Astra, Interstellar, all
that
those,
would
bro.
fuck with me, bro.
I love those because they do fuck with me. And like,
Well, it's not even that. It's like I don't fly enough for it to be an issue, but every time that I do fly, I'm nervous about
hell
it.
yeah,
You know?
And
You're
you should-
nervous
and
about
now-
like floating off into space?
No.
he's talking
I'm
about,
saying
like,
just
flying
like
to
even
Atlanta.
just
The
flying.
idea of
Even just
flying
like-
off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Atlanta,
no.
bro.
I'm talking about just like
In a plane.
in a plane, like going from point A to point B. I still get
Yeah.
nervous about that because it's not a natural occurrence to me. It's so far and few and far between that I'm thinking like they give me a job where I have to get sent off into outer space.
Outer space.
You're
bro.
not doing the
I don't know if it's technically
fucking.
outer space. I mean, the space station isn't in outer space, right? There's like different levels of space. I'm not sure, but like,
Whatever,
outer space
whatever.
is like where
It's
Brad
not-
Pitt
Yeah,
was.
there are, but
you're
once
not
you're
at
on
the
the
cusp.
International Space Station level,
you're in space,
basically
bro.
in
Yeah,
space.
Yeah, you're in space.
It's no,
dude,
it's
at
no
that
worse
point.
there or a billion light years. Like
It's
you're in
not what
space.
the
Right.
billionaires are doing.
Yeah.
It's not what the
You're not making
billionaires
it
are
back
doing.
to Earth by jumping out the window.
No,
Not at all.
You're not grabbing a cab and heading back to
Some
New
shit
York.
goes
Nah.
wrong, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're flying the
That
opposite
right
direction.
there, like you would, and you have to fly out the entire. Oh my god, like that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine not even
that's
being
wild.
the actor. You're just a cameraman.
Like, yo, honey, I gotta
Word.
go to space to
It's
film
not
this
like
movie.
I mean, it's a whole studio they're
It's
gonna
a whole
send up
crew.
there, right? So that's
Word.
like they're sending the
Production
structure.
assistant, bro.
They're gonna,
Like,
yeah, you got
everybody.
a whole fucking. That's too much, man.
Assistants. You're floating through space
Nah.
with coffee for the director
Especially
and the
for-
fucking DP.
The context of the plot of the movie is about a surgeon that has to operate on a sick cosmonaut in space because his medical condition prevents him from returning to Earth to be treated.
Yo, that sounds fire.
Not interesting enough for me to risk my life.
I'm gonna watch the shit out of it though.
I mean,
I'm only gonna watch it because it was filmed in space.
exactly.
yeah. I mean,
Even if
you're
it wasn't,
you're gonna
though,
watch
if you
it.
say Tom Cruise is gonna be a space surgeon, I'm in, bro. You know,
I
fuck
just
with
don't
Tom
know
Cruise.
the
You
reason.
know it.
The reason why I say it. The reason why I say it is because like I get it.
Space surgeon.
Tom Cruise for sure. I get that. That tracks. That
You gotta fucking stop with the tracking.
okay. No, that just makes sense. That's what he does. This is a Tom Cruise, a very
It is.
Tom Cruise niche.
It's a Tom
Very
Cruise
Now-
Tom Cruise,
vessel.
yeah.
It's a vessel.
Now
for
to
Tom Cruise.
create an entire studio at the space station because they plan future productions.
I was gonna say, yeah. Like, what
Too
comes
Tom
after
Cruise-y.
this?
yeah, like who else is gonna sign
well,
up for this?
we know that there will be a space Mission Impossible. We can
Yeah,
we can already say that that's a safe bet. And maybe a safe, like a space Jerry Maguire sequel. I think that would be fire.
That would be nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
What is the human head weigh in space? Not 8 pounds.
It's not 8 pounds.
Probably like 6.4.
I was trying to think of a spacey version of "Show Me the Money," but
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
There's no space currency.
Show me the
so
space
it's tough.
dust.
Yeah. Show me the space dust. No,
There we
it
go.
doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, last
doesn't-
thing.
it doesn't
I
track.
saved this one to the end. It does not track. I saved this one for the end because you know this is the one that's gonna get us canceled. So if it's this week, well, it's been 99 great episodes, you guys.
I've enjoyed every single one of them.
All right. Headline. People are
Yes.
calling out Michael Phelps as a hypocrite because he spoke out against the trans athlete Leah Thomas. And so Michael Phelps, one of the most decorated Olympians of all time, was with doing an interview on CNN and got asked a question about Leah Thomas being, if you're not aware, Leah Thomas is a trans athlete who was allowed to, she's, I believe, at the University of Pennsylvania, and has been breaking swimming records left and right as a swimmer. In the NCAA, they were approved last year, I believe, or maybe 2 years ago, to swim on the women's team. They did start in 2018, 2019 swimming as a man. They hadn't gone through their transition yet, and then came out as trans, and decided to switch over to the women's team. The NCAA approved it. And so the question that was made to him was, the fact that people are questioning Leah's right to swim on the women's team. She's transgender. She's also been taking testosterone suppressants. But they asked him, what does he make of this, right? Of a trans woman competing against other natural gender female contestants. I don't know if that's the right way to call it, but hey, this is the cancel episode, so let's go for it.
Ooh, episode title.
And so Mike Phelps was basically saying that everything has to be on a level playing field when it comes to athletes. Now, he was saying, like, I don't know where to step in here, and I think this, he
treaded very lightly on his
I think he treaded as lightly as he could, right?
Absolutely.
Like, let's see, he said...
There's no, and I'm sorry if I cut you off, but there is no way to answer that question that would please both parties.
Oh, of course not. No, definitely. It's a what do they call those? A gotcha questions, right? Like it's there to make headlines. That's the only reason they asked him. Of course, he's the most popular swimmer, so why not ask him? But he's saying, right, it goes back to being a level playing field. That's what we all need. That's what sports are. He was like, for me, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know what's going to happen. We should all feel comfortable with who we are, but I think sports should be played on an even playing field. It's very complicated. And the backlash, which I thought was a good answer, but the backlash that he's getting is that people are saying, well, is it an even playing field because you happen to be born with a biological set of features that allows you to have twice the lung capacity, an outsized arm span. You have all these biological advantages. And so they're saying, I see. So advantages only matter if you're trans, but doesn't matter if you're not, if you're a cisgendered man.
So here's
they're basically saying he's abnormal genetically, right? And that's what allows him to win.
He's cheating because he was born a better swimmer than everybody else. Is what that sounded like, and that's exactly what it sounds like. That's what pissed me off. The man was born. He didn't have surgery. He's not taking medicine. He was born with these abilities. And what was the trans swimmer's name? Leah
Thomas.
Leah Thomas. If Leah Thomas was dominating the men's swimming as hard as she was dominating the chick swimming, from what it sounds like, she was destroying these chicks. Like it's not even close when she races.
She's lapping racers.
And I feel like I sent you a picture of where she was. Like these girls were going, like they're touching the end, and she's fucking halfway through, almost done, like with the race. Yeah. So like if anything, I would say maybe there should be a trans women league. and a trans men league. Like we already had a men and a women's. Why not a trans women? Because I feel like what's his face said, Michael Phelps, you know, even playing field. I feel like a league of trans women swimmers, like, does it get any more level than that? Or am I just talking out of my ass
no,
right
no,
now?
no,
Like,
but that's what.
I don't know.
This is all uncharted
this is,
territory.
But this is where
It
that.
is.
So this is where that conversation gets skewed because they don't want to label themselves as trans women because they want to be seen as equal to biological women.
This
now,
is the argument that like Dave Chappelle gets into, where it's trans women are women.
But they're and I am on the I am on the side of sure, like definitely trans women, trans men, everyone should be treated equal in all forms of life. You should have the same rights as biological men and women. You shouldn't be treated differently. However, when it comes to sports, biologically, if in 2018, 2019 is when they started their transition, right? How old is this? How old is she?
I think like 20 or 21.
She's like 20 or 21. Okay, so for 17, 18 years of your life, you've had testosterone running through your body, right? Whether you want to admit that or not, obviously, if you put a 17-year-old boy and a 17-year-old girl next to each other, biologically, there is a difference. Naturally, that boy, because of testosterone and how testosterone works, is probably a lot stronger, looks physically stronger, and will definitely dominate a girl his same age in anything that they go through, right? In any sport, they're going to be physically stronger. So at that point, they started blocking the testosterone. They still have an advantage. Now, for us men, like if we are biological men, right? If you have an advantage on me, that again, you didn't take testosterone or you didn't do anything to amplify that in any way,
right?
That is a level playing field, genetics aside.
Biological man versus biological man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, so even just like the conversation had come up with the girl who was I think she was it rugby? It was a trans woman playing
field hockey. I don't know.
It was something, a physical sport.
Yep.
She was obviously much bigger than all of the women on it, and she was dominating, physically hurting the other players, right? Like physically hurting them.
Yeah.
And all of this is because it is not, I understand the stance, but it is not a level playing field. It is not.
Yeah.
And that right there, and I get it, but it has to be regular. Like you said, like if there's a trans
women.
Yeah, like trans
like a league?
teams. Yeah, like a league, like a trans league, trans women against other trans women. Sure. Like that would be great. Trans men against trans men, whatever. Like if we can adjust it so that there are more leagues to make sure that they get the same type of experience, playing in their sport. But that is just that's not fair.
But then that means that in that case,
you have to acknowledge that you are
trans women are not women.
Right.
You have to acknowledge that it is not biologically, it is not the same.
So this Leah chick,
and I don't think they're willing to do that.
She loves going out there and crushing these chicks.
Of course.
So I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet.
Who doesn't like winning?
Before she transitioned, she was not crushing dudes swimming like that. And now it probably has to feel really good. Like, oh, I'm being myself and I'm beating these women. And so like she's got to feel so good. And like, I get that. Like, it's not to take anything away from her or any other trans athlete that just want to live their life, play their sport, do their thing. But it's just, at the end of the day, it's not a level playing field, regardless of gender biases and being canceled. Like, there's no way it's a level playing field, and that makes it unfair, I feel, for the other. So we're talking about this because of what Michael Phelps said. I want to know what these other girls, these biological girls that are swimming and just getting destroyed.
Oh,
how do they feel?
tight.
How do they feel when they go
tight.
home? They gotta be
they're
like,
upset. They
I
have
would,
to be.
I would
Super
be
upset.
Bro, if I told you guys I played football, if there was a trans man that was playing football on my team and just, you know, or against me, let's say, and just fucking lighting me up every play, destroying me, like, I would be upset. Like,
Or it would probably be the opposite, right? If there was a trans man that was playing on your team, you would probably be lighting them up, and they would be complaining that you were being too rough.
right. That too.
Yeah, exactly.
That too.
Because they were, you know, rocking estrogen rather for fucking, you know, 20 of their years until
Right.
they started taking testosterone injections and whatnot. So they wouldn't have nearly the build that you would have, right? And so you would think that they would probably not be a great football player. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. This shit is like, I definitely am a supporter of trans rights,
sure.
like Wak was saying,
That's
right?
not in dispute here at all.
You shouldn't be like discriminated against, like getting health insurance or fucking a home loan,
Job, anything.
a job,
Right.
none of that shit.
But anything
when
extracurricular,
you have like a physical abnormality that's like, it just makes you a different person. And again, it's just I feel like it all boils down back to our trans men and our trans women, which I don't want to seem like I'm team turf or anything, because I feel like
Right.
turf folks are a little bit more extreme on their views. But I gotta be. And this is why it's the cancel episode.
No matter
It's
what we
not
say,
fucking fair, regardless.
It's not.
because
It's
no
not
matter
right,
what we
man.
say, we're not like, no matter how
Oh, we'll
well we
always
put it,
piss
no matter
somebody
how we
off,
say
but
it,
I'm
we
okay with that.
we can tiptoe around it as much as we want, bro. It's not fucking
Nah.
fair when you got
it's not.
It's
no.
not.
biological
It's really
men out
not.
here playing against women. Like, it's, I would.
No, I mean, Dave said it the right way, right? When he said, I love trans women. They're great people, but a trans woman is not giving birth to a baby. Like, it's not happening because you're not a woman. You know what I mean? Like, it's just biologically impossible. There are things that, yes, you know, you're born feeling the same, feeling a way, and you inherently believe that is what you are. Live your life that way, and that's cool. But now you're imposing that in a way that is hurting others. And is it fair to you? Maybe not. But is it fair to them? Definitely not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they should just have like an asterisk, like Barry Bonds type shit. You know what I mean? Like, put an asterisk
And
on their championship and their record and be like, yes, they did get the highest score in this lap. But keep in mind, unfortunately, this person was not born a woman.
That's another great point, though. It's like,
or was not assigned that gender
fair,
at birth or whatever they
like,
want.
I understand this feels fair to you, but what about all the other women that you were just dominating?
Doesn't
Like,
that seem
just
kind of
not-
selfish, bro?
Yeah, that's
like, there's a
selfish.
selfish attitude to that where it's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm living my life. I'm doing me, and that's great. But at the cost of what? At the cost of who? Other athletes that are trying to maybe get a scholarship. You know, like, there's so many things that, especially going to like collegiate sports, things like that. Like, it's so fucking tough, bro.
Yeah, it's
like,
a tough one.
It is.
It's a tough one. But
That's the world we fucking live in, you guys.
Yeah.
Yep,
it
that's the
is.
world we fucking live in.
It is.
Is that all you have for the news?
That's all I got to talk about today.
Shit.
All right, cool. Then we're gonna run away from this fucking conversation before somebody fucks up.
Nah, that wasn't bad.
No,
bro.
there's nothing bad. There's nothing bad, and we're all aligned on that, man. Everyone deserves to
think
live
so.
their life. Everyone deserves to live their life, free of discrimination. And when we're all pro living your
And
life.
even like,
But-
for Leah, like at her
Live
core,
your life.
she has to know.
She knows
She has to know that like this doesn't really count, right?
It
Like
doesn't-
it's not fair.
it's not
like in her
fair.
head, she feels good. She's kicking ass. How good can you feel? Like if I kick the shit out of a bunch of 5th graders,
Right.
Like, do I feel like a big man when I go home after whooping their
Right.
ass? No, bro. Like you beat up little kids. Like it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's like, how does she feel? Like, and it's not for me to speculate, but like, if she's proud, okay,
Word.
cool.
If
Like,
I was
live
her,
your
I
life
would be
like that.
making mad friends with all my competitors and being like, yo, you guys, I know I'm kicking y'all ass, but this is just, I'm sorry, I'm freak, I'm a freakishly large woman. And like there was, I can't remember her name. In the last Olympics, there was a pretty, I would call her a freakishly large female swimmer who was basically like, they were calling her like the lady, Katie Ledecky. I think it was her. She was a pretty big girl. Not in like a not
chubby
wide,
kind of. She's just
big.
like thick.
Yeah,
like,
she was
solid.
almost like solid. Yeah, she was almost like a Michael Phelps in a woman's body, biologically woman's body, and she was crushing. Like she was killing. Got mad medals. She's a freakishly biologically female woman, and I'm sure all of her competitors are like, fuck, I gotta go up against Katie Ledecky because she's killing it, right?
At the end of the day, you know that you got your ass whooped on a level playing field and you either did it or you didn't. Like you can go home, you can live with that. But for me to like come out and, I'm a female and I get beat by a trans woman, I'm going to be pissed, bro.
You can't
I'm
even
gonna be
let's put it
pissed.
this way. Let's put it this way, right? So let's take someone like Alex Rodriguez, right? A-Rod, right? He was a pro.
Yep.
Let's take him. How long was he in the league?
I mean, at least 15 years,
15
10,
years.
15 years. Like he was
let's take him and at his 5th year, 6th year, where he's like possibly like at his prime. He was probably playing for a good, but he was a strong dude, right? And he was killing it. He was killing it in the league about that time. Let's take him out of the Major League Baseball. And let's put him into the minor leagues
Softball league.
or softball league.
Oh,
Yes,
oh,
or
oh.
a softball
a league
league.
of their own. Tom Hanks is his coach. So you got A-Rod and a league of their own.
Right. So or let's put him in a women's league, right? Because he
identifies as a woman.
identifies as a woman. Would that be fair? Absolutely not. He would be dominating.
He wasn't fair in a
we're
men's
not, and we're
league,
not
bro.
even we don't
He
even have
wasn't
to
even
take
fair
it
in the men's league. Yeah,
exactly. We're not even taking it that far. Just bring him down to
Double
bring
A,
him down into
Put him in the
a-
minors.
Yeah, you get
in the
that,
minors.
That happens
In
when
the
these
minors.
these guys get hurt and they got a rehab. They will go to AA, AAA, and play like a bunch of games with these fucking guys. And I mean, usually they're getting better from an injury, so they're not on it. But a lot of the times,
let's put them in there.
These dudes are coming back and they're fucking mashing these kids that don't even know what the fuck hit them, bro. Like
Exactly.
that's what it comes down
Let's
to.
put him back in there healthy.
Yeah.
A healthy young man, full capabilities, and let's see how well he does, and let's see how everybody else does around him.
Yep. Not very well.
Not very well at all. All right, guys. So let's get into some Hollywoo. Into some Hollywoo. All right. So the biggest talk right now in Hollywoo is the fact that the producers of James Bond confirmed that Idris Elba is quote unquote part of the conversation.
That's too vague for me.
Ooh.
I mean,
I'm happy
Conversation.
that he's part of the conversation, but that feels just like they're throwing us a bone. Like, shut the fuck up about
Is that
Idris
part
Elba
of their
being hot.
conversation, or
Right. What's
he
the
been
conversation?
involved in the
Right.
conversation?
He's part of the colloquial Instagram conversation.
Right.
Like we're putting an offer together for him. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, that's some vague ass bullshit, and it's not
it is.
satisfying me. But I mean, I guess I'm happy that he's in someone's conversation. But
Sure.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm all about Idris Elba, regardless of what he does.
Facts.
That's my dude.
The exact quote, because obviously that's going to be the major headlines part of the conversation. But the exact quote from the producer Barbara Broccoli is, well, what?
Broccoli? Was it Broccoli? Is her name
No,
Barbara?
I think it's broccoli.
Okay.
I figured it's not like the vegetable. It's
Is that how is it
I
spelled
think
like the
it's
vegetable?
broccoli or
It is
broccoli.
spelled.
I think it's
yeah,
broccoli.
it is spelled kind of like broccoli, but
Okay, broccoli.
But there's
Let's
an
see what
extra
you got.
O. So, all right. So, Barbara says, "Well, we know Idris. We're friends with him, and he's a magnificent actor. And you know, it's been part of the conversation." But it's always difficult to have the conversation when you have someone in the seat. And then I think we have decided that No Time to Die has had its run. Let me see. Has had his run. And Daniel.
There was a finality to that. Yeah, sure.
Has had his run. And Daniel has been able to, well, we've all been able to reap the benefits of Daniel's wonderful tenure. We're not going to think about it or talk about anyone else. So, yeah.
There's
really,
no fucking conversation
there's
at
no-
all. Is
there's
what
no
it is.
conversation
What a
at
crock
all.
of
Weak.
shit.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here, Barb Broccoli. Fuck you.
Thanks
so,
for the
I mean,
full quote, because now that sounds mad weak.
They are considering it.
I thought you were going to back
just
up
like-
that
No,
statement.
no,
with
not
the-
at all,
like,
not at all.
Here's,
No,
here's
that's
the
more
full
like-
quote.
Yeah, we talked about it because we heard it on the internet.
And then
Yeah.
we brushed it off because he's black. So
I mean, I
thanks.
gave the full quote on there so you can know what the fucking, like, how
Much
to
better
fucking read that.
context.
Do we know if Barb Broccoli is white or not?
I'm sure.
Oh,
Fuck
she's
her.
definitely white.
Yeah.
We do know
Barbara
that. Yes.
Broccoli.
Barb Broccoli. No, don't give her the satisfaction
okay,
of pronouncing
yeah, no.
her last name. She's Barbie Broccoli. Fucking bitch.
Oh man. A lot of people are also.
She's like the
stating
heir
their
to the
dislike
Eon
of that.
Productions or some shit, I think. I think her dad started Eon Productions.
I don't know.
I hope. I mean, I hope there's one day. I hope there's an actual conversation with numbers and financial gain for Idris Elba to
I think
actually
it's too close.
partake in this role.
It's too recent.
Definitely
man.
too
Like,
soon.
I
Definitely
mean,
too soon.
Movies take. I mean, this is shit that has to be thought of now, though, bro. Like, it's not in pre-production. Like, they pick someone now. Next year they go into
just
pre-production.
dropped
Like,
fucking No Time to Die
Yeah.
in November.
what are they waiting for? What are they waiting for? Are they're sick of money? They go, we have
It's a
enough
reboot.
money.
Nah,
we have
it's
enough
a
money
soft
for now.
reboot,
I mean,
right?
but
Like,
they don't have to.
you
tell
don't want to see
everybody,
a
though.
fucking James Bond movie come out
I
next
100%.
year.
I 100% want to see a James Bond every year, like fucking
Another-
a Transformers movie.
So you
I'm
would want
good
to
on
see
that.
a
I wanna
reboot
see-
now?
Sure. I have no reason to think
I
any
feel
of
like there's got to be a pause.
the Bond movies
There
have been
do
getting
have to
better.
be a
I have no reason to think that they would recede now.
Yeah,
they
but
started
if it's too
stopping
close
Bond
together,
movies.
if it's too close together, the amount of people that would just assume that it's the same story, like a reboot, would throw people off. People would not want to fucking
What
watch
does
a
it have
reboot.
to be a
right now.
reboot for? Like, it could just be
A
you
continuation of what?
Pick
It's
up
a
where you
soft
left off,
reboot.
or
It's a
you
soft
just pick-
reboot.
It's not even a reboot. Like, we know who Bond is. We know what he does. Like, no one's has to connect
Yeah,
the dots.
but-
What's going on in this new Bond
No,
movie?
no,
He's
but
a
it's-
motherfucking
but
spy
no,
doing
but
spy
it-
shit, son.
Agreed.
It could be
However,
007. He could be
This is
007.
what I'm
He doesn't
saying is
necessarily
that-
have to be Bond.
No, I'm not with that either. Fuck Rocco on that fucking idea. So this is what I'm saying. Is like, it's a reboot because, yes, you know who James Bond is, just like you know who the fuck Spider-Man is. You know who Spider-Man fights, but in each of the reboots, it's a new version of and just like with the James Bond stories, right? Every time there's a new actor introduced as James Bond, you start the story over again. You know what I mean? Like there's a ending. The fucking James Bond died in the last fucking series.
Spoiler
right?
alert, dog.
Spoiler alert.
It's
If
on
you
video.
didn't see no time to die, my motherfucker, there was a time to die, and it was in the fucking
It was
5 minutes from
October
the ending.
10th when that shit dropped.
So, you know what I mean? Fucking Pierce Brosnan had a whole fucking series. When they switched it over to Daniel Craig, it started
they
a new
went back
James
to the
Bond. It's not like he
Casino
was the
Royale.
same
Yeah.
James Bond. It was
didn't
a
pick
new
up after
series.
Goldfinger or wherever, yeah.
Right.
how
So
much-
nobody
how much
wants to
time-
like, we don't want to see Idris Elba come in and still be fighting against fucking,
What was the name of that group? What was the name of that group? I can't think of the name.
Spectre. I mean,
Spectre,
I
yeah,
still
yeah.
want him to fight Spectre because that's James
But
Bond,
in 3
right?
years, when it's calmed down, like that, what the fuck are you doing? I still
but
want him
what
to
I
fight
don't
Spectre,
want him
but
to
not
see-
now.
No, but what I don't want him to see is having Christoph Waltz as his brother and his arch enemy.
Okay,
You know what I mean? Because
okay.
that's
Yeah.
a different series.
That's all played out now. Yeah.
I mean, that's the Daniel Craig version. You know what I mean? Like, it would be weird. Like, matter of fact, I believe the character that was played by Christoph Waltz as Blofeld, right? That's a character that was used back in the 60s, 70s version of James Bond, where he would, the dude that was stroking the fat cat, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, reuse it. It is a reboot, right? The same people playing or different people playing the same characters. I am fucking 1,000% for that. I don't want to
you know
see
what?
that bullshit that Rocco's throwing out talking about, oh, just make it another person with 007. Fuck out of here.
Yeah,
That's like,
Nah, it has to be James
and I
Bond.
said it
It has to
on
be
his
James
post. Like, to me, that's like a Miles Morales throw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool.
He's not-
I
he's
fuck
not
with the fact
Spider-Man.
that Miles Morales exists and that he's a Spider-Man, but Miles Morales is not Peter Parker.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fuck that. I want to see a fucking black indigenous person of color Peter Parker, basically, in the James Bond world. You know what I mean? Give me a person, and not even that. It's not necessarily that I want James Bond to be BIPOC or whatever the fuck. I don't even know how you say that fucking acronym, but it's not that it has to be a person of color. I just want Idris fucking Elba because I think he is James Bond.
Yeah, he would be a dope ass James
And
Bond.
it shouldn't be limited because of the fact that he is, a person of African descent. Like, fuck that. It doesn't matter. He's British.
fictional character.
He could fucking fight for your majesty, and he could be a secret agent. And he's smooth as motherfuck. Like, that's all you need to be James Bond. British, fight for your majesty, and smooth as a motherfuck. He can do it.
I'm still in the Henry Cavill camp.
I like that idea too, but I fucking
I'm not
I
against
really
that.
love
Yeah.
I really love the Idris Elba thought of
I'm
it.
not against it. If it went Henry Cavill, I'm with it.
Yeah, I'm
Cavill,
with
whatever
that
the
too.
fuck. Did we ever land on?
I think we
I think we
did.
said Cavill. I think we landed on Cavill, and then I said
whatever, it
Cavill.
don't
Like
matter.
I'm still, I'm stuck in my.
And by
My
the way,
ways.
I just wanted to
I'm
bring
sure
up
he
that
says it.
I wanted to bring up that Die Another Day, the last Pierce Brosnan James Bond film was in 2002, and there was a good 4 years before Daniel Craig
Exactly.
came out in Casino
Royale was 2006.
2006.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there was a good
Yeah,
4
long time,
years
long time.
of marinating there, allowing us to forget the Pierce Brosnan.
Exactly. So I don't
James
expect
Bond.
the new James
Pierce
Bond to drop
Brosnan
till like
wasn't
2023,
terrible.
2024.
I didn't mean that in a sense that Pierce Brosnan was terrible. It's just like, give us a little time before we jump it from one story to another.
A little palate cleanser.
Yeah, exactly. A palate cleanser. We get introduced to a new James Bond, a new storyline, and we can start fresh mentally.
I love
Mentally, we
Bond.
can start
I miss
fresh.
Daniel Craig already.
I feel you. I understand, but Daniel Craig is over it.
How long
I
did
mean,
it
he's
take?
getting what, $100 billion for Knives Out
Probably.
2? He doesn't give a fuck about Bond.
Probably.
How long did it take between the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man Part 3 and the Andrew
That was
Garfield
pretty
reboot?
I don't know, but
wanna
I'm
say that
going to
was
say
probably
no
felt
more,
like it was
no more than
short.
no more than 2 or 3 years.
So
I felt like it was
Spider-Man,
short.
Bang Bang.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out in 2014, and then
No, Amazing Spider-Man dropped in 2012. Spider-Man 3
2014.
dropped in 2007.
Damn.
what are you talking about?
5 years?
Oh,
Amazing
yeah.
Spider-Man 2 was 2014. Yeah. No, I'm
I thought
saying
you were talking
between
about Tom
Spider-Man
Holland's.
3. No,
And
no,
Andrew
I'm saying, so
Garfield,
between
between Tobey
Spider-Man
and Andrew
3
Garfield.
and between Tobey and Andrew Garfield, 2007 to 2012.
So 5 years.
Yeah.
But then 2014 to 2016 is when they
17.
introduced.
17 was Homecoming. Oh no.
Yeah, but he
They
was introduced
him
in Civil War.
Yeah, in Civil War. You're right.
Which is the year before. So there was a very short period there. But that I was
And people were
definitely
talking
kind of
shit.
like,
Yeah, people were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
yeah.
It was just like
Agreed.
way too soon. Where people,
Agreed.
but then it was dope to see. But that's on the coattails of the Avengers. So in that instance, it was easily forgotten because Spider-Man came out as a character in this ensemble in Marvel's already built MCU. In this impactful like moment. You know what I mean? So people were just like, all right, that was pretty cool. So I'm just going to forget about it.
Right.
But if they would have came out, with a full on reboot again, and we have to go through the whole Aunt May again,
Nobody would have wanted that.
Nobody would have wanted that. And they did it in a smart way. They avoided that whole shit. So
They did, yeah.
Marvel just did that in a very smart way to avoid that backlash. But that movie would have bombed if it would have just been another reboot, another introduction to this fucking character that we've been introduced to already, same type of shit. You know, it would have bombed.
For sure. I agree.
All right, so
I don't think you could bomb a Spider-Man movie. I don't know.
I don't think you could bomb a Spider-Man movie, but I don't think it would have gotten the same response that it got.
Definitely not. Definitely
Right.
not.
It's not beating. It's not beating Titanic.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we don't really have a whole lot for Hollywood, but we can keep this going. Rob Pattinson is now with the whole Batman and everything. He's starting to be more of a talk of Hollywood.
Bro,
So
after Tenet, they should be
correct.
knocking down this
Yes.
motherfucker's door,
Facts.
bro. Like,
I mean, he's had performances.
most people, right? But most people wrote him off after Twilight. They think of him
Exactly.
as the
And
Twilight guy, and that's
he's
not
had-
fucking fair, bro. That's not who Robert Pattinson is. I've watched like one or two of the Twilight movies because I was trying to smash. I'll admit it. Like, I saw them. Like they
Oh,
were.
of course.
They were.
Nah, I've seen them.
They
I've
were.
seen them.
They were tolerable. Like I wasn't like physically
It
ill
was
or anything,
stupid,
but like
but
yeah, they were very
I've seen
stupid.
them.
They were written by a. That doesn't matter. Anyway, the movies that like he's done, like his acting chops, like I never gave him the credit because of Twilight. I wrote him
And-
off like a lot of males probably do.
I just
honestly.
read something today that and this wasn't what I was going to bring up, but Matt Reeves actually came out. They asked him like about the backlash that he got for casting
okay.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. I'm sure
And
he had to
came out
answer some
and-
questions.
No, but I'm sure he's had a lot since when he started.
Yeah.
But he finally came out and he was just like, I knew, like I didn't really respond to it because and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said I knew that the people that were pro Robert Pattinson getting this role have they've seen his career after Twilight, and I knew that the people who had an argument or who were upset about this casting had not seen his career after Twilight. So he wasn't so worried about it. So he tried like the backlash didn't faze him at all because he knew.
Right.
And I said the same thing. Like I didn't really know, but at the same time, I'm like, well, we got to give this guy a shot. We can't base him off of Twilight, which was like, how long ago was the last fucking Twilight?
Yo, he had a lot. I'm looking at his filmography now, and he had a lot of shit since. So the
a lot
first
of them
Twilight,
were indie shit after
the
Twilight.
first Twilight was 2008, and then Twilight 2 was 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012.
Damn, year after year.
In between that, he had multiple indie flicks. Little Ashes, Remember Me, Love and Distrust, Water for Elephants. That was, I believe, an Oscar nominated or Oscar conversation.
Christoph Waltz, I think, was in that with him.
Yeah, Lost City of
so.
Z. I forgot he was in
Lost
that
City
too,
of Z,
which was with Charlie Hunnam,
Lost
right?
City of Z was after the last Twilight, so that was like his resurgence, I would say, into.
Charlie Hunnam was in that too.
Yeah,
Charlie Hunnam and Tom Holland was in that.
Yeah, that was
Tom
a good
Holland was
flick.
in that
I
too.
enjoyed that. Lost City
that
of
was a
Z.
good one.
Let's see. Good Time. Yeah, I mean, he mostly did kind of smaller flicks in between then. And then since the last Twilight, he didn't have a blockbuster flick until Tenet.
You don't have to have a blockbuster film though.
But you're right, and that's the thing, is that in between all of that, he was doing shit that nobody was watching, and then after that, he did shit that not a lot of people were watching, and so people have this. That's why people still have this view of him only being as good as the writing for the Twilight series, instead of understanding that he's actually a gifted fucking British actor that, you know, does what British actors do.
I mean, by default, I feel like Brits are just actors. Like, whether it's the stage or what, like, it just seems like it's in their blood, bro. Like, it's, I don't know what it is.
I won't go all that far. I know some dumbass
They have the
Brits, too.
gift, though. Oh, no, for sure. For sure.
But I said all of that.
But they sound fucking amazing to us
They do,
Americans.
exactly.
And the fact that they can pull off an American accent like it's
That's
natural
what boggles
language
my mind, bro. Like, it's
blows
nothing.
my mind,
Like,
bro.
it's nothing. It seems so easy
there's
for them.
very few American actors that can pull off a British accent, and then I listen to it and I'm like, yeah, that's legit.
Do you know who I think? UK, Charlie Cox. Like I said, I've been going through and watching Daredevil. He does not break once. Never do you hear his accent come through.
Right.
And usually,
Word.
even like when British actors who are playing American characters, when they get heated, when they start yelling, you will almost always hear that English UK
Yeah.
dialect come out just slightly. Even with like Daniel Day-Lewis, bro, Charlie Cox does not break in Daredevil, and like, I've been looking for it, like, because I'm rewatching. This is probably my second or third rewatch. I'm watching with Ash, who's never seen it before, and like, I'm purposely like trying to find him crack. Even when he gets heated, he's in tears, bro. Like, it's impressive. These Brits, man, they got a gift, bro. Robert Pattinson included.
Well,
Facts.
I wanted to bring this up. This is the whole reason for me bringing up Robert Pattinson. Is he is currently in talks to star in Bong Joon Ho's new sci-fi film. He is for those of you who are not familiar with Bong Joon Ho, he is the director and writer of Parasite, which won a bunch of awards. It was such a great movie,
bro. Parasite was
such a
so
great
good.
fucking movie. If you've never seen Parasite, highly recommended. Such a good fucking movie. But he is currently in talks to star in his
That's super exciting for me,
next
dude. Like,
in his American debut, right? That would be his American debut. Because isn't
I mean, Parasite was in
Korean.
Korean,
It was a
for
Korean
sure.
movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so and it's a sci-fi movie, so
Well,
it's
he did
definitely interesting.
Snowpiercer.
Did he do Snowpiercer?
did he? Okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right. I fuck with Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
That was a movie that was a Netflix drop. I want to say a Netflix original. I wasn't sure, but
It was not a Netflix original.
no,
I don't think so.
But it came out on Netflix and it was starring
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
Yep.
And I wasn't sure about it. Saw it. And it was good, man. It was actually really
that was
good.
great. I actually
to the
want to
point
watch
where there's
the
a
show.
series now.
I was thinking I want
Yeah.
to check out the series at some point because there's some decent actors in that movie. Like,
Yeah.
even though it's, I think, a TNT series, it's some cable
Yeah,
network.
I think it's
forget exactly
it's either
who.
USA or TNT.
That's sort of what has dissuaded me from watching it so far. But like, it got a second season. It got a second season. So like, they're doing.
You know what?
something
I
right?
did watch. What was it on TNT? The Alienist. I did watch The Alienist, like 3 seasons of it. Wasn't something that I would say. I'll say this. I enjoyed it, but Joyce wouldn't watch it with me, so it couldn't have been that good.
You'll get some ones that'll sneak through on those cable channels every now. I used to
Right.
watch Burn Notice. If you ever,
I
you
do
ever watch
remember
Burn
Burn
Notice?
Notice,
I used
but
to, bro,
that's
I used to
not
fuck
something
with
I
Burn
followed
Notice,
often.
bro. I fucked with
watched
Burn
Suits.
Notice.
I watched Suits a little bit.
Another one. Yeah. See, like you can get.
But
always-
again, not
there's
something-
always one or
I
two.
didn't stick with it. You know what I mean? It wasn't hard.
I fell off. But like as far as
Yeah.
like USA shows go, like I don't fuck with USA. But like Burn Notice, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of tight. It was pretty. Once you get the formula down, like any of those shows, you're like, okay, this is whatever. But like,
Right.
when I first saw it, dude, like I was into Burn Notice. Like I had to catch Burn Notice every week.
I mean, we get that every now and then for sure. But we can all agree that a majority of cable television programming, as far as like TV shows, you know what you're getting into. Even if you like it, you're just like, like when you bring it up in conversation with your friends who enjoy that kind of stuff.
I would never. I would be embarrassed.
Either you would never be like, oh well, you know, I watched this one show, but it's very campy, and you always come out with
you got to qualify it. Yeah, you got to qualify it big time.
for sure. But all right, so moving on a little bit. We've already talked about a bunch of stuff that's coming out on Disney Plus. Disney Plus seems like they're taking all of these shows, all of these old school movies, shows, and they're making them series.
Yeah.
So another one is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I guess they're moving forward with making this a television series on, or not a television, a streaming series on Disney Plus. I actually enjoyed, I know for sure, the first Percy Jackson.
I saw the first one.
I thought that it was.
well.
I thought that it was actually like I went in with very low expectations because it's like
Clash of the Titans. It
kind
had
of
that same
but for
storyline.
like a
badass.
teenage with the
It's like a
premise.
teenage Clash of the Titans.
And there was
is
two of
How I
those?
viewed it. There was a second
Yeah,
one.
there was. Yes, second one isn't as good,
Sea
but
of
I thought it was still
Monsters.
pretty good.
Okay.
I thought it was still pretty decent. The first one was definitely much better.
I only saw the first one. I enjoyed it more than I
But
thought I would.
yeah, and Pierce Brosnan is in that as well. It was a surprise. I saw it, thought the premise looked pretty cool, and
That's like based on a book, right?
yeah,
It's like Greek mythology,
why.
right?
but it
makes
is
sense.
based around Greek mythology. So that I think that a lot of people really enjoy. Greek
But the
mythology.
Percy Jackson series is actually a book. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying, Johnny?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Like
gotcha.
Percy Jackson, that story is based on like a series of books.
It's like the
Which is why
Babysitter's
people are
Club.
like so. Yeah, people are
Gotcha.
hype about it because it's Harry Potter world and
Yeah, nostalgia.
any type of
That kind of
anything
stuff,
that
right.
people have watched, read 3 or more books about. They're like, yeah, make it into a show.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like The Witcher, Witcher's dope.
Yeah.
Right. Well, speaking of TV series, looks like Apple TV Plus is getting a new Godzilla TV series. It is currently in
Oh.
development.
Gojira?
Yeah,
Gojira.
He's coming to Apple TV Plus, and coming off of those last couple movies, I'm
Yeah,
down for it.
those
I'm all
movies-
with
those
it.
movies
especially
fucked, bro. Those
especially
new
for
Godzillas.
it being an Apple TV production. I'm down with it.
We
Is
need
it-
John.
is it-
We need
is
John
it
Hamm
the
in
same
it,
universe? Is it part of the Monsters universe, or is it just another Godzilla story not related?
It doesn't say.
though. It might
It
be
just says
early
that
in,
it will feature Godzilla as well as several other Titans, which we would know. Apple
So then
TV
maybe
Plus, working on
other
on
Titans. I mean,
Maybe.
if they're
Yeah, I
referring
mean-
to other Titans, then
Yeah.
I would imagine that it has to possibly do with that,
Mothra?
especially it being Apple, and we know the production that they put into all of this stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
it is, maybe it's not. But either way, I think it would be entertaining enough to where I would give it a shot.
hell
for
yeah.
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
Apple TV. I got it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking. I should
Word.
check out more shit on Apple TV. Honestly,
They have some.
they
do
got
have some good shows.
this weekend the After Party drops. I just realized
Dave-
that.
Dave
We seen
Franco?
the trailer like a while ago. I don't know, the shit with like Tiffany Haddish and like
Yep.
yeah, there's mad people in the shit. It's like
have to give that a shot.
what I heard, or I seen a interview, I don't know if it was last night or this morning with Tiffany Haddish, where she was saying that it's a series, so it's not a movie. I thought it was a movie, but it's actually a series, and every episode is like a different genre. So like one episode is a comedy, another episode is like a horror, another episode is like an action flick. That makes it a little even more interesting to me than what I was expecting going in, because I was really just expecting like a murder mystery, you know, whodunit type, Clue type movie, which they do still kind of say it's a Clue type flick, but that's the twist, is that, you know, every episode has a different kind of pull. And Apple TV's been kind of crushing it lately. Yo, that fucking commercial that with John Hamm, that shit fucking was hilarious.
Yeah, that was crazy
and
funny.
Genius at the same time. Not only was it hilarious because John Hamm's making fun of himself, not being involved with any other shit, and they got him to play that role of making fun of himself. But at the top of it, like, they highlighted like the dopest shows and movies that are on Apple TV with all of the biggest fucking actors. Like, Apple TV Plus has over 100 like big ass fucking shows and movies out already. Like, I seen some shit the other day was talking about like how they've grown, you know, in their market share and whatnot, and that they've got like hundreds of shit now, where they originally started off with like, you know, a measly little 10-15 shows or whatnot, and people were like, this ain't gonna work if you don't got a library. And they were just like, nah, we're just gonna keep chugging along and make
I love
dope content. And so
I love
far,
that.
like,
everything is
very
original.
little
I think
that's
the only things that are like library, like library stuff, like from back in the day, is like the Peanut stuff.
Yeah,
Charlie Brown, Christmas,
even then,
and all
I
of
think
that
it's
stuff.
all new. I don't think it's
No, they have some new Charlie Brown content, but they release the old school
shit.
Charlie
Yeah,
Brown
yeah.
stuff. Yes.
Well,
but
they
do
definitely
have
drop
new
like
Charlie
the
Brown
Thanksgiving
stuff.
and the Christmas and
like
and
those
that
things.
shit.
And Fraggle Rock, but even that's
Fraggle Rock.
new.
But yeah, I don't know if they got the old Fraggle Rock stuff, but they did
I don't
drop
know, yeah.
like they just
They have
started
new
a
shit.
new Fraggle Rock series. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but
let's not
sure
forget
it's
about
good.
that phone call show.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
bullshit. So
Okay,
they're
that's
not
why-
all,
I mean,
they're not all winners.
You're
though.
right.
It's
No,
not
they're
that
tug
that
off
one's a
Apple
loser.
TV Plus.
So
Like,
the reason
they can't all
why
be
that
gems.
one was a loser, and that would have been great in a podcast setting. Like that would be a good podcast series. But the fact that they try to add
the little
visuals,
lines,
yeah,
like
like audio,
fuck
like
out of here, bro.
literally, like when we started doing audiographs, where it was just like an image and then little shaky lines with our voice.
Right, like an EKG.
You know what I mean?
Stupid.
To promote ourselves. It was pretty
Yeah.
much that, but in a TV show produced
For a whole
by
half
Apple
hour or whatever the fuck
that
it
was bullshit. But if they would have introduced that to me as a podcast, at where every single one is a situation and it's all audio based, not trying to sell me the visuals, I'd have fucked with that. For real.
Execution
Sure.
was poor on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
But like we said, they can't
Yeah.
all be gems.
They
right?
can't all be
Like,
gems,
They can't all
no.
be C. So
especially
I get it.
especially when you're trying to produce all original
Yeah.
content, you have to
who's
you
gonna be
have to
mad
see
at
what
hitting
works.
900
Kinda- right.
or
Yeah, yeah,
800? Like, you killing it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. All right, so a little bit of bad news here. Mission Impossible 7 and 8 have been delayed.
Damn, they
Mission
were both
Impossible,
in pre-production.
yeah.
They were
Mission
probably filming them at
Impossible.
the same time.
Mission Impossible 7 has been delayed from September 30th, 2022 to July 2023. Mission Impossible 8 from July 2023 to June 2024.
Jesus, bro.
Yeah.
That's fucking almost a year for each of them.
Mhm.
And I mean, honestly, like, who knows when this, 8 is gonna come out? Like, they say 2024, but like, who the fuck knows what's gonna happen
Oh, if
before
it gets
then?
pushed
So like,
back even-
these are that's not good news, dude. And I fuck with those movies. I fuck with Tom Cruise and his
I've said-
acting.
I
and
wanna
they've-
say-
they've been getting better. Just like I said with the Bonds, bro. I feel like whenever the Mission Impossibles come out, they've been stepping their shit up.
I
big time.
want to say that we've mentioned it before. Every single time a new Mission Impossible comes out, I want to hate on it. I want to
And
be like,
it
no.
fucking- and it slaps.
Yeah, and then you watch it and you're like, fuck, this is fucking,
My man still got it.
this is
Yeah.
a good fucking movie.
Yeah, you got to put the Scientology
Every
aside, bro.
single
You got to
time,
put that Tom Cruise notion aside. And when you watch that man act, I don't think there's anybody that commits harder. Honestly,
No, and yes, his acting is great. He kills all roles that he's in.
All of them.
I'm even gonna watch the fucking what's the one that's been the Maverick.
Yeah.
I've never seen the original Top
Top
Gun.
Gun, yep.
Yeah, but I'm probably gonna watch that shit.
I might even go watch the original Top Gun before I watch this, bro,
in
just to
order
catch
to-
those
yeah,
references
just-
and shit.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Just to know
'Cause
what the fuck they're talking about.
I like to be up on that, and I mean, I know the pop culture references of Top Gun, but I'll be honest, I've never actually
never seen it, no.
Top Gun beginning to end. Like I've seen the parodies of it and Hot Shots Part 2 and like all that
Yeah,
stupid
exactly,
bullshit. But
exactly.
like
I
I've
used to
never
love those.
watched that, and I will probably watch it before watching the Tom Cruise one. I'm not gonna go to the theater to see it.
No,
but
no,
like,
I'm not gonna see it.
I'll 100%.
I'll watch it.
I'll 100% watch it.
and Tom Cruise's acting aside, man, all of these movies they're just good fucking movies.
They are.
They're just good. They're written well.
Yep.
Everything that he attaches himself to is just
It's quality.
quality.
You know, when you see Tom
And
Cruise
I want to
on a
hate on it
production-
so much every single time.
Absolutely.
I want to.
Absolutely.
I want to say, yo, this is gonna suck. Do you see what fucking Tom Cruise doing? I want to say all of that
Fucking
shit.
space
And I may-
station movie?
I
Get
may,
the fuck
I
outta
may
here.
even say it. I may have even said it at some point. Like, what the fuck, Tom Cruise? What the fuck he's thinking?
Yeah.
And then I watch it and I'm like, God, that was such a fucking good movie.
Joe, Tom Cruise's acting is one of the hills I will 100% die on every time.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
I know.
can't-
No,
you can't argue
and I'm
it.
not going to argue that. I'm not going to argue. The one I want to
Even
say
Johnny
that
knows. Johnny's like, yeah, I mean, he fucking goes.
gotta-
He
I
goes
gotta
hard.
the
think.
one that
I
I
gotta
wanted
think.
to
I gotta
argue
think.
that like back like years ago was the what did they rename it? Live Die Repeat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I actually like that
Yeah,
one.
bro,
No,
that was a
I'm saying
fire
that
movie,
I
bro.
wanted to
Emily
hate,
Blunt.
I wanted to hate on it, and then I saw the movie, and I'm like, "Fuck, that was such a
That
good
was such a
fucking
dope
movie.
bro. Yeah.
It's such a good movie." So no, I fuck with that movie. I love that movie. That was a
Yeah.
good movie.
That was really good.
Bad Tom Cruise movies.
sure they
Oblivion.
exist.
people had.
I
shit
enjoyed
to
that
say
too.
about
I liked
Oblivion, but I
Oblivion too.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Let's see, Valkyrie. Did you like Valkyrie?
It was-
I don't know that I finished it.
It was. I definitely watched it once. It wasn't like a rewatch or anything like that. But I remember watching. He was like a Nazi, or right? Like that was the. He was in the Valkyries, where like
I
the
probably
Yes,
saw that
yeah,
once
he was
too.
a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw that once too, and I can't.
Bro,
the
Last
Jack Reacher
Samurai,
movies. I
Last
think I saw
Samurai
the first one.
caught a lot of shit, but it was not a
Last
terrible movie.
Samurai was probably the worst.
And it's still, if that's the worst Tom Cruise movie, bro, you could be doing so
No,
much worse.
You know
Oh,
what?
The Mummy.
I'll-
The Mummy. I've never
Mummy.
seen
Yeah,
that.
the Mummy
yeah.
is the worst one.
Fuck,
never
bro.
seen that.
There goes
I've
my
never
Tom
seen that.
Cruise
That's not
scare.
his
The
fault,
Mummy.
though.
No, bro, he brought in script writers to rewrite that shit for him. So that is 100% his
Well,
fault.
then, then it's his fault. Yeah.
I read that
I
recently.
read-
I've never seen it.
The Mummy is the first movie that I did a movie drinking game on.
And you know what?
And it made it so good. But it was because I was so aware of how bad this movie was.
Right.
We were so drunk making fun of the dialogue and of all the shit that was happening. We were just like laughing at everything that was happening. And there were so many moments that were triggered by the rules of the drinking game that I was like, there's no way. And I was drinking so much because the rules just kept popping, and I was like, fuck.
But you know
this
what?
movie.
You know why that didn't impact his career? Because right on the coattails, he came out with American Made. Same year,
was
they
like
both dropped the same year.
He was a smuggler, right?
Yeah, where he was. Yeah, where he was a drug smuggler on the plane and stuff. And
Interesting.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and also like that whole universe got kind of canceled. And it wasn't just because of the Mummy.
Right.
Like
Was
they
that like
were
the
all
werewolf,
pretty
like
bad.
Dracula and shit too? Like there was going to be like a monster.
There was
that the
supposed to be a
monster universe,
monsterverse, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like
they had
Benicio del
hired a
Toro
whole
and
bunch
shit?
of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had like contracted everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who it was. It was because I remember they dropped like a. No, it wasn't the MonsterVerse. It was Dark Universe. That's what it was. It was from Universal Pictures, The Dark Universe. Where's the image? Because I remember they dropped like a. There was, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde was gonna be in it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this fucking photo.
There's a Frankenstein movie with what's his face? Fucking.
Yeah, they had Johnny Depp, Javier Bardem, fucking Russell Crowe, and I can't tell who this lady is. But she looks like maybe Penelope Cruz. I don't know. Can't be her. There hasn't been a Penelope Cruz thing in a while. Who the fuck is that? Russell Crowe, Javier Bardem, Tom Cruise, Johnny Depp. Oh, I don't know who that is. Sofia Boutella, but she was the mummy in the Mummy.
Oh, okay.
Chick mummy.
Yeah, it was.
You didn't
it was
see
a woman.
You didn't see the Mummy? It was a chick mummy.
I didn't see the new.
The Brendan
She was a hot-
Fraser one.
A hot
No,
mummy.
yeah, I didn't see the Tom Cruise
Tom
one.
Cruise
Tom
one.
Cruise. Tom Cruise. Okay, yeah.
I didn't watch that one.
Tom Cruise mummy. It was. I mean, that's what made it bad. It was trying to do more than it actually could.
Gotcha.
That happens.
Yeah.
And even then, like, even Tom Cruise probably wasn't terrible. Like, he was still believable. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I don't know.
His
might
role,
actually go back and
his
watch
role
it.
was good.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was just, they tried to make, I remember there was like this crazy ass like plane scene, and it was like a Mission Impossible mummy, and it was just
that's
like
where his screenwriters came in, bro, because it wasn't originally a Mission Impossible
facts.
mummy.
Yeah.
And yeah. But he wants every movie to just be like the ultimate action movie. And
It was
sometimes
supposed to be
that's not what we need, bro. That's not what
Bride
we
of
need.
Frankenstein, Creatures from the Black Lagoon, Invisible Man, Van Helsing, and Wolfman. I think
Invisible
the
Man was
only
the-
movie
was
that
Wolfman.
came out of there was The Mummy. So maybe Tom Cruise.
They made Invisible Man.
They made
with,
Invisible Man.
Elizabeth Moss, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if that was part of the same
that was part of
universe.
this. Oh, okay. Yeah, that
gotcha.
makes sense. That makes sense.
And was
'Cause
it
like
actually
some
called Invisible
ex-boyfriend
Man?
bullshit.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. I don't know that it was part of the same universe.
No, it wasn't, because he wasn't no monster. He was wearing like this suit. It was like an abusive, rich ex-boyfriend.
Whoa. Spoiler alert.
Lizzie.
Oh, whatever.
Lizzie,
But it was.
Lizzie Moss.
It was called the Invisible Man. Came out in
Okay.
2020.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
2020?
Yeah. So
Like during the
this is probably
pandemic?
all after. Yeah.
Shit. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that was definitely not part
I
of
caught
Dark
that one. It was
Universe.
pretty good. It was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
It was a decent movie. All right. So last in this
This is
conversation,
probably like the longest episode we've ever recorded.
probably. But we did start pretty late, so it could just be all whatever. But actually, the last thing that we'll bring up is the Batman. It's been reported to be the longest runtime for a Batman movie, which I was like, holy shit! Right, right now the Batman is stated as being 2 hours and 55 minutes, which is it's recorded. But then I was looking at it.
5 minutes
I
short
was
of
looking
3
at the
hours.
list. Correct. But the Dark Knight Rises was 2 hours and 45 minutes, so it's 10 minutes more than
That's not a whole heck of a
Batman
lot.
movie.
If you really got
Right.
to piss, though, that's a long ass 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's
Dark
true.
Knight Rises?
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight was 2 hours and 32 minutes.
Okay.
So we're just under 3 hours with this movie.
Dark Knight Rises. It was a little bit long, but there was 2 plots that they were closing up in that movie,
Yeah.
Right.
which is also the same with this movie. There's
Correct.
the Catwoman, and then the
Riddler.
Riddler, and then
Penguin.
apparently
Yeah, Penguin in there.
and then Penguin,
Penguin-
and maybe
Penguin.
even a little Joker.
Well, no. The Penguin. They've already said like there's only like
A few
Colin.
minutes of screen time.
Yeah, he
for
only had a
Colin
few
Farrell.
minutes of screen time, so
Right.
that's a setup for something else. And then the Joker.
So we've seen it
is
all in the trailer.
cameo.
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably. But even with what we've seen, that's very small portion of a 3 hour movie.
3 hours is a lot, bro.
It's
like
a lot.
even for like
a lot,
a
but
movie
I'm-
that you're stoked about.
But you know
like,
what?
3 hours.
I'm gonna be in that fucking theater, and I'm gonna be sitting there for 3 fucking hours. Dude.
I hope it's a dope 3
Facts.
hours. Because if it's a whack 3 hours,
If it's a whack 3 hours, yeah, we'll all be pissed.
I mean, come on. We've seen enough footage. I would say we've probably seen at least like 6 minutes of footage at this point.
enough to say that it's gonna be fire. Like
6
confirmed.
minutes out of 3 hours, I think, yeah, enough to get me. I'm with it for 3 hours.
I mean, yeah, no, it's enough to get us to the theater, but will it be a dope 3 hours?
I mean, you're not
I'm
gonna
assuming
sit
so.
there for 3 hours. There's at least 7 minutes of credits.
Yeah, it's gonna. But don't think about the 20, 30 minutes of trailers.
That's true. That's true.
Well, that's not
30
counted in
fucking minutes.
runtime.
No, but I mean, it's counted. Your ass is gonna be
yeah.
sitting.
I
in that
don't show up for the
motherfucking chair,
trailers
dog.
no more.
You don't. You come in.
I
Like
used
20
to.
minutes
Like
after
I
the
was
start
used to
time?
be my shit. That used to be my shit was the trailers. But now I've realized that I see them all before I get there. So when I'm sitting
You
in the
see them
theater
all,
watching
And
the
you don't
trailers,
even like trailers.
You see
Hey,
them
it's
all,
not
and
even
now
about that. It's just I've seen these.
wait,
They're
you see,
all on
you
YouTube.
see them all.
There's nothing
you
new.
See them all, and now you're purchasing your seats. Like you're picking your seats out ahead of time. So what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. That too.
Yeah.
I already know where I'm gonna sit.
Yeah.
You know,
You're
I've
not
seen the
fighting for a
trailer.
seat.
It's it's nice to see the trailers on a bigger screen and with a better sound system, but I would say in the last maybe 6 years,
Yeah,
I've
5
probably
years.
only seen 2 or 3 trailers for the first time in the theater. Where I'm like, oh shit, I
for
never
for
see
the
that
first
one.
time, yeah.
Like when we went
Yeah.
to see, what did we see together? The Matrix.
Yeah.
That was they showed Moonfall, which there's not really a lot of hype about, but it looks fucking good.
I saw
Yeah, it
that.
looks
I
good.
saw
I
the
want to see
trailer
that.
before
I want
that.
to. I want to check that out.
I'd never seen the trailer for that
know where.
before,
Can't
so
remember
when I
if I
seen
seen
that
the
on the
trailer prior
IMAX,
to
I was like, "Oh shit, that looks interesting." I never seen that before. But outside of that, man, I can't even tell you the last time that I saw a trailer for the first time in the theater.
This
I'm gonna show up for that
this podcast keeps me up to date on a lot of shit because I'm just like constantly looking up new shit.
Word.
To the point where prior to this podcast, we would discuss it. We may catch a bunch of that still.
But
that
I'm
stuff,
not on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And now we're trying to be on it, and I can't help but that shit. But so now I'm seeing every fucking thing. All right, but I don't know. I have very high hopes for this Batman movie, and I think it's gonna fuck.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be dope
Facts.
as fuck. And
I
I'm
got no
excited.
problem.
But guys, do you have anything else to contribute to this stellar conversation?
It's been a beautiful 99.
It sure has. Can't wait for a hundo.
Word. Next week
Hundo's
we
about
have
to
a
be
good surprise.
wild.
But until then, guys, thank you for tuning in to this episode 99 of Insensitive Culture. If you made it all the way to this point, you really, really fuck with us. You love us. You really, really love us. Remember to have to spread us around. Let your friends and family know if they would like this content. Let them know that you fuck with us and they should fuck with us too.
Chill.
Have them rate, review, subscribe, fucking rate us and review us yourself on Apple Podcasts if that's where you listen.
Give us a comment.
Give us a
watch
comment.
on the
Anything.
YouTube.
Follow us on the
comments. YouTube
Follow us
comments.
on the
would be
YouTube
IG.
comments.
Send us a
Follow us
DM.
on IG. Yes. Send us anything. If you have a question for the podcast, please do so. Also,
Jump on the Discord server.
if you want to, yeah, do we have one?
No.
No, we do not. If
Let
you
them look
want,
for it.
if you want to rep us out in the street, please remember to go to insensitivemerch.com and cop yourself some gear. Stay drippy with Drippy. But other than that, we'll catch you next week. We love you. Peace.